you know what I mean? You know what I mean? How are y'all
Uh-huh.
doing?
Yeah, doing fine for the most part. I
Nice.
have a I'm gonna do a hustle. I'm gonna do a what's called a hustling move later.
Oh, what kind
Well,
of hustling move?
answer my quiz while doing the podcast.
Very good. Speaking of the podcast, we've been recording without you even knowing it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Welcome,
Yeah, I
folks.
shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised.
Fire
I'm not
demon
surprised.
with tricks? He would never. Welcome
Well,
to.
you're a demon.
I am a
I'm
demon.
absolutely shocked.
Welcome
The
to
gasp.
an extra special episode of Good Morning New Hell City, all about our seventh Cryptidverse, which is me, the Knights of
Wait,
Me.
about you?
About me, yes. Um, so first I'm gonna first I want to start by reading the prompt because we have two guests here who are I guess I would say experts at the CV at this point. Would that be accurate to
Uh,
say?
Just
well,
dying.
he hasn't been in half. I've already been through I've already
Joke's
been
on
through
you,
like
you lived
11 at
through
this.
one.
Yeah,
That
I
is
know.
true.
I lived through one. Ambiguous fate for one, and then one becomes undead, and then the other one just becomes the
Yeah, you
cryptid
don't get that
itself.
on me. I've died in all mine. Get good.
Yeah, and I mean the sole survivor, of that chain just happens to be a flirt, but
And we have
I mean it's
we have a CV sometimeser, Kitten, who oh my god, I cannot wait till we get to the Circles podcast because I have questions. Anyway,
That's gonna be chaos.
but we're gonna
yeah.
start right now with the knee one. So first, I'm gonna read the prompts. I'm gonna ask you guys what you thought about it when you got it. So it is a stay at a beautiful resort in Magnolia. Or wow, Mongolia. It's late, y'all. In Mongolia, not Magnolia, Mongolia, in China. Such grand wonders will amaze you as you take a dip in our hot springs and enjoy the luxury of China. Do not delay. We have many things in store for you at the Red Ruby Inn. So when you all got that prompt, take yourselves back to July of, or I guess this would have been June. It started in July, June of 2021. What did you all think when you like heard the prompt? Did
I
you
was just
already?
like, well, time to tap in my old character history, see what I've got. And then yeah.
And this
I
was
was just
set
like, well,
in, this was set in 1880, by the way.
18 yeah, 1880s, and I'm just like, hey, I have characters who live around that time period. Let's see what I have.
Ooh.
You have characters who have around every single time period.
Yeah. Do you have a Jesus era
Mhm.
character?
Probably.
No.
Oh, we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
I was gonna ask that same question.
So who are?
You're actually gonna make me do a Jesus
Oh
era
God, of
character if that's
course.
even
Which
possible.
means I
You
then have
gave me the
I then have to do a Jesus era CV, which I can't. Um, so who you are? You get to be an aristocrat between the ages of 40 and 70. So at this point, we had not done anyone. We really didn't done anyone this age in the CV. Um, and so it was ages 40 to 70, anywhere from Asian, European, or African continents. Or you could play a young hire who has come to work at the resort. Young hires maybe anywhere
Mhm.
from 10 to 20. So this is also the first time we had two groups, like we had like a split up situation. Did you all automatically know that you both picked aristocrats?
Yep.
Yeah.
Why is that? Do
I
you
was
both
like
feel like
going to
aristocrats?
What was
Do you,
that?
do you both feel like aristocrats, or did you want to be aristocrats? What was the? Why did
I
you all?
had I was like, yeah, I just knew automatically that I would have to pick aristocrat because the characters that I had during the time that I made during that specific time period were aristocratic. So I'm just like, yeah, that's the kind of character archetype that I'm familiar with.
fire.
Yeah.
Wait. I just wanted to live for more than 2 weeks.
Right. So for y'all who have
Also,
not,
Nick's asking to speak.
oh yes, oh my God, hang on, come in, Nick. Um, for those of you who don't know, before two CVs before this, DBS had just started. Um,
Wait, was it? It was one.
no, you were in
It was
five.
just one.
Oh,
Technically, Enemy was 6 and Neo was 7,
I
so it was
always
1.
think that Enemy was 5 and that Truth or Tale was 6. Okay, yes.
To be
Because
fair,
Truth or
even then, it'd
Tale and
still
the
be 1.
dating game.
Yes.
The dating game and Truth or Tale were like operated around the same time, or was it
Okay.
5 and 6? They operated around the same time.
It's so confusing.
That's
Anyway, what happened was that recently, the last time that DBS was in a CV, he was alive for, I don't know, how long was Boria alive? Like
14 days and like 30 hours, in time.
oh my gosh. Also,
I don't know which is worse.
also we have here Alcoholic Nick, who is also a part of I like saying it like that.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot about this. And it's 2 a.m.
I have seen it all.
I was
I don't
sleeping.
forget.
I was sleeping and I woke up and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to do the podcast. And I was
Oh
like,
my god, you do
I
not.
saw you in the chat and I was like, oh, they must be ending or some shit.
You do not have to stay. Oh my god, I'm encouraging people not to sleep. So we had
Well,
the first character that we had, of course. Who else brings in their character sheet first? Swift, do you want to introduce Cesar?
you mean Cesar
Cesar,
Legion?
yes, of course, yes. Excuse
Cesar
me.
Legion y Abelardo. Yep. That's his full name. Yes, I
Uh-huh.
even thought of his mother's maiden
Oh,
name.
of course you did.
When don't you say the full name?
Of course. I love that DBS can even make fun of you. Like,
I
Yeah.
do see with her pretty much all the time. I know the tendencies.
Yes, I know. I do those usual tendencies because full names are like to be a full name is a source of pride. You know, you're showing off not only just your personal identity, but you also show the identities of your forebears.
I forget all my
So,
characters' names.
so what inspired him? How did you come up with him?
Cesar Legion started out like it started out when I was trying to pick a character for me, and then you challenged me not to make a character with a very traumatic or dark backstory. So I'm just like,
That is true. I
what?
did do that. Yeah.
And
It's
I was
nice
just
giving
like,
out challenges.
what can I do? And then at that time, I already picked a character. It's just that, oh yeah, he had a tragic backstory of being separated from his wife due to personal circumstances. So, so I instead decided to create someone entirely new, but still have him related to the previous character that I originally had in mind. So I created Cesar, and part of his identity, his first name actually came from my great grandfather's younger brother,
Oh wow.
who was also named Cesar.
Oh,
Who was
interesting.
also named Cesar, and I think he was a fisherman. He
Oh.
worked as a fisherman, like a fishmonger, but he died young because of an infected wound.
Work.
So,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I'm just like, yeah,
How did Cesar
yeah,
make?
that's.
How did Cesar make his money? Not
Oh,
not
he
not
was.
your Cesar, not the one from your family, but the character.
Oh, like I just need to distinguish between Cesar, my ancestor, and Cesar the character.
The
Yeah,
character.
It's a CV podcast.
yep. Yeah. So Cesar, the character, he made his money. Well, actually, his parents were the one who made the money first. They're the owners of a hacienda, and just for context, haciendas in Spanish colonized Americas and in the Philippines, they were like the primary money makers for the Spanish Empire. Haciendas were like basically like haciendas basically were like a jack of all trades kind of business. You could have like a plantation, or it was mostly plantations, or let's see, like livestock farming, and those pieces of land were actually granted for these private owners to do business by the queen or the monarch of Spain themselves. So yes, you actually had to be granted permission to do business on that specific plot of land by the monarch of Spain themselves. So yeah, Cesar's parents, or Cesar's grandparents, I think, had to be granted a business permit by the royal family of Spain. And so yeah, they did their
Rich.
living.
I love it. I love it. I love Rich. And our next Rich was sent in by DBs. You guys sent in characters back to back. Good for y'all.
The exact same minute.
Would you like to introduce Charlotte Mcnally? Do you remember Charlotte Mcnally at all?
Oh.
Wow.
That moment when I'm the one who kind of remembers more about Charlotte than he does.
I walked into it remembering that I don't remember anything.
I will tell you, Charlotte is one of my most disliked CV characters. Not for like writing or, player purposes, but God, fucking Charlotte was just a fucking piece of work. Anyway, but
Yeah.
give us the backstory. Do you remember how you created, why you
Yes.
created, all that?
That actually just came to me like a minute ago. Thank God. So, Charlotte McNally. The one where I chose, oh yeah, let's make the character actually older.
Yeah, it was
Actually
hard.
older.
It was hard for everyone to make pit crew pictures of her characters for this one because they don't really
I
have
didn't
like
even know
good
what
ones.
this is my first time ever using a pit crew. There's like 10 of them now I could use to actually make it look like they're 52, but nope. Gotta make it look like they found a fountain of youth.
Yeah, we did suspension of disbelief with Charlotte McNally. So how'd you come up with her?
So, I was reading this book, Ember in the Ashes, where, it's like, the main character, when the main characters, he wears, they have this silver mask in the school. This slowly morphs into their face. And it covers everything except their mouth and their eyes. And their chin.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, hey, that'd be a cool and original idea. I don't think anyone in a CV's ever had a mask.
That is true.
So I'm like, oh hey, I watch Arrow, I read this book. It makes sense.
Aw, hi
And then
Loki.
the reason why I chose, out of all places, Dublin, Scotland, was that I have a giant map of Scotland on my wall. So I thought, this place is right next to the water. Let me look it up. Oh, it's nice, hilly, and green. Okay, let's use it.
That works for me. I love it.
And then
Yep.
typical, oh hey, I just look up freaking common surnames and scroll down to like number 100.
Perfect. Perfect. And
Hello.
I don't know if Nick is still awake, but Nick, do you want to introduce Alberto?
Sure.
Oh, poor thing. I feel so bad.
Sorry.
My poor baby. My poor baby Sleepy.
Don't worry too much about it.
I have another poor baby, or another BB just on the other side of the screen
Is
door.
Kitty? Is there
Together you have a
Kitty?
dog.
Oh God, a dog.
No,
Oh,
it's a puppy.
dogs. Fucking puppies.
Oh,
Anyway, Nick.
love the
I don't mind me. I'm just gonna pat Loki.
So, Alberto,
Mm-hmm.
what a piece of man.
He is a piece of man.
God,
My favorite pit crew picture.
I have a better mustache.
no, I was lucky I found that. That's the first. Second,
I want that man to do
I didn't even believe
unspeakable things to
myself.
me. Continue. What's
I
right?
didn't even believe that I got to make such a handsome man.
I would let that man spit in my face and say, "Tell me thank you," and I would be like, "Thank you, sir." Too much. Too
I'm
far.
gonna be honest. I didn't have any inspiration for him. I just kind of winged it.
I get
with
it. I love
Taka.
that.
I kind of winged it with Taka.
I
in the
mean,
call.
Alberto ends up having one of the most iconic, well, definitely one of the most iconic scenes in this CV, but it gets
It has
good
to
for
be
Alberto.
blurred.
Yes.
I just think it's funny that who was it? I think it was Shannon. Oh yeah, Lee.
Fucking
Yeah, it
Lee.
was Shannon.
Fucking Lee.
Because at the end we had.
Oh, yep.
that
We'll get to it.
standoff.
We'll get to it. Don't worry. We'll get to it. So,
I just love that.
it's my favorite scene. So also, Alberto made his money in animal fur traffic, which I thought was really, really good. That's a really good pick, especially for the time, for 1880. Like that's how a ton of people made their money. So That was
Yes.
that was great. That's great.
It just made sense, and I had actually Taka kind of threw shade at me because every character I make has some kind of traumatic backstory, and he was pointing that out. It's true. It's true.
Don't listen to Taka. Taka always thinks it's not true. Fucking
Taka
Taka.
forgot who's the role player that had the tendency to create the darkest backstories.
Fucking Taka. We also had who are not here. We had Void was playing Ivan Morova, Morovia, who is from Belgium. We had people. It was very. This is like our
Belgium.
most international CV as well, by the way.
Great.
Made their money like inheritance. And then I think those were the. Oh no, we had Soph played Tang, who was who's from China, who also inherited her money, I believe. Kiara played Krishna, who was from India, who made her money in textiles. She was gorgeous. Yeah, and then we had some wait staff. We had 3 wait staff played by Shadow, Shy, and Velvet. And that got really good. So basically, what happened as we started is that the group was led in by one Miss Manchu, who runs the Red Ruby Inn. My backstory was that Miss Manchu inherited the Red Ruby Inn from her father after he feared that she would not marry due to her temperament, which we get into later. Miss Manchu has a bit of a temper. She was one of the few, if not the only woman to own a hotel for miles, a fact that she is very proud of. She has taken her father's vision and elevated it to astronomical heights. How did she do this? There are many unsavory rumors about this, especially in the ways of how she could possibly manage to keep her clientele happy and coming back. Miss Manchu is above these rumors and always holds her head high in solitude. The Red Ruby Inn is her life, and she will do anything to make sure it thrives. So basically, they were saying she was a hoe. They were saying she was sucking some dick for money, which is like, how dare you? That's sexism. Was she doing it? I'll never tell. So basically,
I'm not even going to comment on
Oh,
it.
God.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say definitely she did. She did half of that, and then the other half was just intimidation.
I was
What?
gonna say
You know,
money's money.
Money is money.
$20 is $20. I don't care what anyone says.
God,
Yeah.
I hope she was charging more than $20 if she was doing it. My Jesus.
Hey, $20 at the time's worth like
Oh,
2,000 today.
yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair is fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
So, but can I first start off by saying that finding a picture for that was close to what I envisioned for the Red Ruby Inn took me so long. I was trying to find I typed in Google. I was like, Red Hotel, China. No, and they gave me like basically modern day China, which is obviously like ostentatious and modern as fuck and glass and all this stuff. I'm like, no.
Then forbidden shitty.
I was like, ancient Red Hotel, and I was like, but they don't really have hotels that are ancient. It was so hard. I don't know how I came up with this. I don't forget what the file name for this is, but this is a famous place in China, and I think it's like a place of worship. Actually, I don't think this is actually a living quarters, but it was like the closest thing I could find. So basically, I mean, this is an audio podcast. You can't see, but it's a build. There's 2 buildings, one smaller, which we would have assumed to be the hot spring. There's like a surface level hot spring that makes this place so famous, and they basically built the inn around this hot spring essentially. So Miss Manchu comes in and she tells the wait staff like, get your shit together. We have people coming through. You kids need to like make sure and ship shape. These are rich folks. Make sure they're like taken care of hand and foot. And they're all afraid of her. So we instantly get that Miss Manchu is she's not like the employer that maybe you want to have. That's putting it lightly. When you all were introduced to Miss Manchu, how did you feel about her?
She just had that dragon lady feel to her. That's the first thing I got.
So I was just like, it's a fire character. And after the last CV, be very cautious.
How dare I make nice characters?
I don't.
Nope.
What?
I mean, come on, I've
Well,
seen
you
it
did.
all.
You did make that one couple in Or So Deep. Other than that, nope.
Wait,
Nope.
I mean, once we get to Force So Deep, I would like to argue that Gabriel is actually a very nice character who's misguided, but we'll get there. We're gonna get to that,
Mm.
and stay tuned for future podcasts. So Tang comes in. Basically everyone sort of rolls up one by one. Did you all think about how you wanted your character to come in? Like, did you think about your entrance?
Well,
I love TBS. What was your thought with your entrance?
Didn't I DM you saying, can't she ride in on a horse instead of having a horse bring her in?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's like the greatest non-idol rich thing
yeah,
she would ever do.
yeah. Charlotte
And
was
then,
just like, "I'm coming in on a horse riding side saddle, bitch.
and
Deal
then,
with it."
meanwhile, Cesar just comes in a kalesa, or the Chinese equivalent to a kalesa. So, yeah,
Explain
he
what
just
that
comes
is.
in.
Explain what that is.
Kalesa is just basically a horse-drawn carriage.
There you
It's
go.
just it's the local counterpart.
It's the
They
1800s.
still have that today. They still have those today, albeit in some areas in the
Or would just call
provinces.
him lazy.
You're calling a world traveler lazy?
My
Someone who could have been a professional horse rider in 2022, yes.
Uh,
my favorite
speaking.
my favorite moment is when I'm reading back to when Cesar comes in and Miss Manchu doesn't really know how to speak to him, and so she just yells, "You are staying in the butterfly room."
And he's just like, gracias.
No, even better, he was like, "I'll go to the butterfly room." And she's like, "Oh, he speaks English. Whoops."
All right then.
Okay.
Yeah, Cesar was like the first trilingual character that I tried to do. Trilingual.
I loved it. So everyone.
I mean,
Go ahead. No, go
if I
ahead.
wanted to if I really wanted to be really accurate with him, I would have had him just speak Filipino and Spanish, and that's it. But no.
So
But no, because English is the universal language, so
Well, that's a fire.
yes, yes, yes. So everyone gets assigned to their rooms. I'm trying to remember how did my sexy daddy man Alberto come in? Did he get
It was on horseback as well.
I was on horseback as well. Yes. So
Yeah.
Good man.
there we go. That's the way to do it. So so the horses get put. This is also a very important fact. The horses get put in the stable on the other side of the hotel, and then definitely nothing else is going to happen with that later. ... So so everyone is placed in a specific room that correlates to a animal. And so we have the macaw room for Void's character, whose name has already escaped me. Ivan, thank you.
Ivan Barovia.
Ivan. The Viper room for Miss Queen Charlotte. The Salamander room for Krishna. The Butterfly room for Cesar. The Tiger room for Tang. And the Wolf room for Sexy Daddy Alberto, which is how I'll be referring to him from now on. He's so hot. Anyway, so Miss Manchu is obviously being really nasty to her wait staff. I'm reading where she says to Lan, "All right, I'm tired of you standing next to me." So Miss Manchu was honestly, I don't see the problem. I don't find that she's a problematic character. I don't think that she's a villain. I think everyone else are haters. Right, my fellow. Yep, right, everybody. Right.
I
feel
would like a second
I
opinion.
plead the fifth.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. So
Right now I'm washing the dishes. This is how much I care about whether Miss Manchu is a villain or a hero.
How dare you? She's the best. Yes. So, oh yes. Then we have Alberto coming in. I love this. The sound of hooves clacking on the ground could be heard headed toward the entrance. It's so cinematic. I love him so much. In a tiger. Listen to this fabulousness. A man wearing a tiger fur jacket accompanied by a foxtail tie. A bad bitch. I love him. I want him to marry
You gotta
me.
look presentable, you know?
There's presentable, and then there's ostentatious, and then there's bad bitch, and that's what Alberto is. A bad bitch. I love it.
Lavish. I mean, who knows? He might have captured a literal bitch and then just used it as his pelt.
I love it.
Just saying.
And this is the first time that Miss Manchu gets a little bit hot under the collar.
Yeah.
She is trying to maintain her composure at this gorgeous man in front of her, and she says, "Do you like what you see?"
Oh,
It could be referring to the hotel. She meant the hotel. She meant
No,
the hotel.
you're
we
lying.
we all know that they don't mean that.
What she wow. I'll have no Manchu slander on pod right now.
Fire,
No,
there's a
it's
thing
fine.
called innuendos.
I
There's a
don't
thing
know.
called innuendos and
reading this-
chandras and euphemisms.
Reading this back, there's a lot of grammatical errors I did.
You can clean this up now if you want to. You can always go back and clean up your grammatical errors so long as they don't change the story.
I actually can't.
Oh, God, that takes work.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm too tired for this.
And so Miss Manchu has pretty much instructed the help to take everyone else upstairs, but she's like, "Oh no, I'll take you up there. I'll take you up there personally." And then I wish Shadow was here. Shadow as Leah's like, "I can take him to his room," and she's like, "You shut the fuck up! Get out of my." He's like, "No. I'll
And then-
take him up personally. Get out of my way! Don't ruin this for me." And so also, by the way, Miss Manchu is modeled after. If anyone's seen Memoirs of a Geisha,
Yes, I've
she
seen
is
it.
she's modeled after the character that the main character is like living with, like the she's not, what is she like? She's not like the main geisha, or she's like one of the main geishas or something like that. And she's like really mean. Do you remember her? What was her name? I don't remember.
I do. She was played by Gong Li.
Yes, her character. She's
Yeah.
kind of aimed at that, like, you know, she's very into her looks and worried about being old and all that stuff. So
Memoirs of a Geisha.
great book. You should read it. So movie. So we go in and we get a little backstory from the wait staff. We have Lee and what was Fel's character's? Oh, Sui. Having like a quiet moment together, because one of the hierarchies is basically that Lee is the lead wait staff, and Lee is like, I think he's supposed to be like maybe 16, 15. How's he
16.
like, yeah, he's young. He's like 16. And so and I think one of the people on the waitstaff is older than him. I think so, yeah. So it was like, just because this boy has a penis, he gets to be in charge of everyone. So we sort of see like a little is it a flirtation? I don't know, like between Sui and Lee. I don't know. This is like, I think they were just like,
Is it implied flirtation?
I feel like they were just sort of like bonding. I think.
Yeah.
They're sort of like, you know, Sui's very scared of Miss Manchu, and Lee's like, it's fine, like, you know, we'll just get everything clean and we'll deal with it. And I felt so bad for them. It was so hard to be mean to them. I felt so horrible because they're such, in real life, like Vel and Shadow are so sweet. So it was very
Poor
sad.
Shadow.
I know, poor Shadow.
This was his redemption arc.
This was dear podcast listener, when we get to Lee's character arc, is one of the most impressive character arcs I've seen in a role play ever. So anyway, we will get there. So Miss Manchu, practically falling out of her dress, is escorting Alberto upstairs and is like, "How do you like your room?" And he's like, "It's great. Care to leave now?" And she's like, "But," and he's like, "Okay, bye." Oh, first of all, Nick, how did you feel about my character flirting with yours?
You asked me that. Just, I specifically remember that because you asked me that. I think you were so worried I was gonna be against it. Sorry, I was gonna be against it. You asked me in my DMs if it was okay.
Oh, I did. That's
if
right.
it was okay.
See,
Yeah,
folks, sometimes I do my due diligence.
And I say it was fine because it was.
I love it. It was, and it
Uh,
was fine. It was very fine.
It was fine.
Mm-hmm. How tall is Alberto? Do you remember? Did you write it down, or is it somewhere? Was he like 6 foot
What
something?
is it? My sheet?
It might
Basically. Google Drive.
be. He just seems tall.
He is 5'9".
Oh well, back
He's
then
not
that's
that
tall.
tall, yeah.
Back then that's tall.
not-
5'9" was very tall
that's
back
pretty
then.
tall.
It's very tall back then.
That's like my height.
It's average
Okay.
height today, but back in the day, folks,
In America.
the folks were
Yep.
yeah, in America. Yeah, go to Scandinavia. Average height is like 6'6".
It's not ignore the fact Kiara's character was 6'5".
What?
Where?
Yeah, just looking at the sheets.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We'd really missed that vote, I guess. Okay, Kara made a character. Okay, fair enough. I also love an out of character note from Shadow saying, "Fire, you really play horny characters well. I don't think that's good." So that's great. That's a
I
great.
don't see anything wrong with that.
I'm gonna write that on my resume. Next time I have to get a job, I'll be like, I write horny characters good, and I don't think that's a good thing. So Miss Manchu pretends to be faint, and Alberto, being the gentleman that he is, leads her towards the bed. And you think
Towards the bed.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, do you think Alberto was aware of what Miss Manchu was doing, Nick?
Very.
That's great. Wasn't even subtle. Wasn't even subtle. Okay, sounds good, kitten. As you all were taking in your room, so basically what happened with all the rooms is that depending on what animal it was, the room was like covered in something of that animal. Did you like the animal that you all got?
Yes.
Very
I love the
fitting.
food. How did you know the butterflies were one of my favorite aesthetic
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
to see?
That was a total guess.
So,
I will say, Fire, the second you gave Charlotte the Viper room, you signed that fate of her being a pain.
I mean,
yeah.
You just wrote it down like, okay, the snake room.
And I'm just like, the butterfly room. I'm just like, oh yeah, Cesar is a grown Disney prince. That's what I'm gonna do with him. A grown Disney prince who was a Catholic, who happens to be Catholic, even though he's not actually a prince by title, but he might as well be a prince.
You can buy the title.
A lot of it was also based on your color schemes from your pit crew. So I think I remember for Nick's, did Alberto get put to the tiger room? Was that what it was?
Wolf.
The
The wolf room.
wolf.
Oh, then maybe I made that up. Yeah, I probably made that up.
So
Never.
It's
Viper
very
out of
fitting.
Charlotte.
I don't know why, because I remember it wasn't random. That's for sure. It was not random. And I did assign you all to rooms purposefully. I don't exactly know why. I think it's just based on what I initially thought of your characters, which turned out to be incredibly accurate for I think across the board. So
Yes.
I think it worked
You're
out.
welcome.
So we have a scene. We have actually a nice scene between Krishna and Lan, played by Kiara and Shai, and basically Krishna just asks like just some interesting questions about what Miss Manchu's up to, and how he likes working for her. And Lan is giving very, very it's giving very like retail answers, like, you know, when some rich lady like comes up, be like, "How do you like working at freaking Walgreens?"
CVS.
It's CVS, and they're like, "I love it. It's great.
It's most fulfilling. The pay is wonderful, and the boss is kind to us.
I don't
and it's
ever
just
want
like,
to leave." Yeah, it was very that. It was giving very.
Someone save me.
It was giving very. I'm on camera right now.
Hey, how you doing? Are you doing just fine? I'm lying. I'm dying inside.
Yeah, very.
I'm just
that.
reminded of that.
Very that. So she starts asking more personal questions like, "Do you ever get to see your family?" and Lana's like,
That was very pointed.
yeah, because she was like, what did she say? Like, it's something like, do you ever get holidays? And Lan says, "We go home when it's off season, but I tend to stay back and maintain the inn when the others do leave." So, out of character, Shy wrote me, "Does Miss Manchu give out holidays?" And I wrote, "Hell no." But I said they go home when it's off season at the hotel. And so I thought, "We go home when it's off season at the hotel, but I tend to stay back and maintain the inn," was such a perfect answer of like, I mean, they maybe are allowed to go home, but I imagine Miss Manchu is like, I mean, if you go home, you may not have a job when you come back. So people are like,
It's just like go home, but within the certain time period, or else.
I mean, maybe not even that. I imagine she's like, "Yeah, sure, go home. I am possibly putting your job listing up in the town, so go home if you feel
So,
like it."
you're getting 50% less pay when you come back.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Smiles.
Yeah, right. Have fun with your family, and everyone just
Happy
looks.
holidays.
Everyone just looks at each other
For
like,
you too.
"Fuck, I guess I'm not going home." This is before workers' comp and workers' rights, folks listening at home. So this is interesting also because she also asked, how did you come across the job? And we talked a lot actually talked a lot in the DMs with the people playing the wait staff about how during this time in China, obviously kind of like a lot of places in the world, I mean, there was a huge, just horrible deficit and people were poor as fuck. So things like running a hotel or helping in the wait staff were like, people were desperate for these kind of jobs. So it explains why they endure this kind of treatment, because it's like, if I don't have this job, I don't have money, just period. So I like the idea of Miss Manchu kind of knowing that these people need her very badly, so she kind of gets to just use them as dolls, no pun intended, for later.
Referencing.
Reference. And she just gets to use them however she wants to. So and I love Shy as Lan being like, "It's fine. I got it the old-fashioned way. I was looking at a job. I got it from being on the wait staff. It's all great. Everything's great here. I love it here."
Save me.
Yeah, please.
I'm dying inside.
Please, I am dying inside. If I stay here another day, she will, draw and quarter me. So we also you also got to, as Cesar, you got to talk to Lan as well, right, Swift?
Yeah, I guess so.
For like a second.
I've kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. It was amazing that you all just immediately went to, a lot of you all went to immediately talking to the wait staff, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like
especially Void's character? I think Void's character spoke with Sui, I think, also around that time, but maybe I could be wrong.
I'm seeing it now.
Charlotte also spoke with Lan.
Yeah. So what were you all trying to establish there?
I'm not scrolling back up.
I mean, I was just trying to establish Cesar, trying to establish him and his new connections in the Red Ruby Inn, because of course he doesn't know anyone in this area. I explained to Jesse in a separate chat that he stumbled upon the Red Ruby Inn while he was traveling in Fujian, China. So, and there's also an explanation as to why I picked Fujian as the place he went to before he went to Mongolia. It's because historically Fujian was the origin place, the place of origin for many of the Chinese immigrants who came here to the Philippines, Christian Chinese. So yeah, Fujian was one of the coastal Chinese provinces. So it's just Fujian. So just decided to tie it back up there. Hell, even the former richest man in the Philippines was from Fujian, China. So there's that. The more you know.
Didn't know that. So then we get Ivan. Ivan comes up also on horseback. Y'all love these big grand entrances.
I started a trend.
You really did. And
you actually do start quite some trends.
I mean, we will get into all of the ways DBS has influenced the CV forever.
I am just a trendsetter in the CV.
Truly.
Legends begin somewhere.
So
go ahead.
Trendsetter,
and what am I? Just just the recurring Doctor
The
Who
girlfriend of
character.
the trend center.
just the Doctor Who, just the Doctor assuming multiple forms in different CVs. It's
true.
fine.
That's true. So then we get so Ivan comes in and Miss Manchu is like, "Oh shit, we got two fine ass men up in here." So Miss Manchu's, like, "Oh, hello." Ivan is like not having it in the same way that Alberto is entertaining it. And pretty much pretty much Ivan is freaked out by this. Wait, what'd you say?
Fire.
Yes.
I just see what you wrote in parentheses.
Oh, Miss Manchu gonna try to get her fuck on.
Yep.
Yep.
So Ivan very quickly quickly was rushed to his room, and Miss Manchu wants to serve dinner. And so this is the first time that the wait staff gets to really put their wait staff skills to the test. Oh God, I'm reading. Oh, this is awful. I'm reading one of Manchu's lines. "I hope you came hungry for Chinese, sir." That is, I'm ashamed of that one. I'm very ashamed of that line. So anyways, so they put all their stuff away, and then it's dinner time. I don't even know if I remember this scene. Do you guys remember the dinner scene? Hang on.
I don't. There are so many scenes that I can remember, but this is not one.
I know, I don't remember this one.
Blah 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 blah. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm at July 5th.
Sorry.
Okay, well, we can start by saying that we're watching the wait staff. Yeah, what?
I hope you came hungry for Chinese,
I
sir.
know. I just said
Yeah.
I just said so.
Oh my God.
I am both ashamed and proud of myself for that one.
I'm proud.
Fire.
It would have been revolutionary for its time.
I know, yeah.
Would have been.
So we see Sui and Lee start preparing food, and Lee is really taking the reins here and sort of getting everyone into the kitchen. And what I really love about Lee is also that he basically gets people out of Miss Manchu's way. He really starts off very well. I love how well-meaning he is. He's like, she's like, "I want food on the table, get out of my face." And Lee's like, "Great, Sui, let's go. Don't stay around any longer." So let me see what they ended up going with, because I remember Shadow DM'd me and was like, "What do I have them make?" He like DM'd me in a panic, and I was like, "You run shit, like you tell me what they make." And he was like, "I don't know what to do."
Delegation.
I was like, "Yes, your character is in charge. Go for it." So I think that was the beginning of I kind of got to see Shadow really have more creative freedom, and I did not know the places that it would go, but boy oh boy did his creative freedom fly. So he said rice, some sort of meat, some bread, and vegetables. That's a sensible dinner, don't y'all think? It's good.
Also
Rice?
makes sense.
Yeah,
During
rice,
the time
yeah.
and
some
place.
meat, some bread, some vegetables. So Miss Manchu sends everyone in to help with the food, and people are kind of wandering around the inn and the garden until I think we get to. Is there the? Oh yeah, so Miss Manchu comes into the kitchen, and she asks what everyone decided to make, and Sui says rice, meat, bread, and some mixed vegetables, and I rolled a d30 and got a 10. So I said, Miss Manchu is not impressed so far, but keeps her opinions to herself. However, she shows them on her face, which is a perfect description of Miss Manchu.
Yep.
She won't say it, but she's upset until she does say it. So Miss Manchu gathers all the guests and heads to the dining room. This is wild. I do not remember this scene. I think this is pre the game scene when you guys played snooker / pool, but should have played snooker.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
the greatest
That was-
TV moment in history.
Is this what's
Yep.
about to happen? I think I'm not sure.
This was
I
a
think
day
it's
before.
dinner. dinner, nighttime, next day.
Yeah, that's
I
next day.
think there was a
Yeah.
horse race, and then
Yeah.
snooker.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay. So everyone
I'm
kind
just
of.
speaking out of my rear.
I
Yep.
think you're right though. I think you're right though. So everyone has dinner. I don't
Mhm.
think anything wild happened during dinner. I'm trying to read through quickly.
I know Charlotte
Except,
was very passive aggressive about the wine.
yeah,
Oh yes. Oh yes.
about
This is when we first started seeing Charlotte being a little bit of a how do we call it? An asshole?
I was thinking something else.
Yep. Anyway, I'm also reading this up, and then
Uh,
Cesar is also at the dinner table.
Charlotte's just like, you absolute morons. Idiotic buffoons. We already had wine.
Brush himself with a proper face.
So I
Also,
go ahead.
the mask, you idiots. The mask.
Oh yes, the mask.
You stain that mask, I'm gonna grip my tiny hands around your throat.
Oh, my favorite thing that I'm now reading that happened. So I had Shadow roll a 3d30, which is very rare that I have anyone roll multiple die at one time. Um, and he rolled a 48, so it was an 18, a 17, a 13, and by those definitions, I had it say the food is, depending on who is tasting it, awful or good. No one finds it delicious.
Cool.
Perfectly, like, in the middle roll, right?
Perfectly, it was like to your taste. You either it's not amazing. It's either shit or okay. So, did you all remember how you chose to take that?
I mean, Cesar for the most part actually just took it like as is
Yeah,
because he's that good of a man.
polite, very polite. Ivan said
Without a hint of guilt.
um, Ivan says the food tastes wonderful. Was he lying? I'm not sure.
Probably.
And then Miss Manchu chooses to say, I can't wait for you to try my food. I hope you're all as excited as I am. I worked very hard on it. Yeah, because she worked hard on it, right, everyone? She made all the food.
Yeah, sure.
Where's her stained apron? Where are the food stains?
Also, Charlotte is just questioning how the food was made.
Yeah. And also Charlotte and I just remember Charlotte and Cesar having like that one scene before they both ate, and then it's just like, huh. Like Cesar was just praying like his dinner time prayer, and then Charlotte is just like, "Who are you praying to?" And then she's just like, "Spaniard, who are you praying to?" And then
It's so weird
Yes.
for me to write as Charlotte because, I'm religious and I have to write this character that is so stoutly atheist it's actually comedic.
uh-huh.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and Caesar's religion was like kind of forefront. Not
Loyal.
quite at this point, but it definitely comes out later.
Yep.
I love that
He
Charlotte.
was probably like he's probably like the most religious character that I made.
Oh, for
That's
sure,
saying a lot.
for sure. Charlotte, Charlotte challenges. Was this a challenge? Because Charlotte was like, "Tell me how this is prepared. I might be interested in bringing it back home." Which did you say? Did she say that in earnest, or do you think that was like a dig?
God, I don't
You don't
recall, but
remember?
I think it's somewhere as both.
Okay. Okay.
Because I think the thought process was like, well, Charlotte's gonna be like, well, it's not bad, it's also not great, but there is going to be some clientele that wants it.
hmm
Yep.
She's
One of my favorite things, and I really want to like commend Vel on this, who's a often CV member, really good. Um, Basically, Sui is probably one of the sweetest characters in the CV because she just was so she was so loyal to Miss Manchu, and she was like really trying to hold things together. And I'm reading a part where Lee goes, Miss Manchu's such a bitch, claiming our work, and Sui's like, sir, that isn't polite to say. And I was like, oh, poor Sui, Miss Manchu is a bitch. It's okay to say it. And she was
You
like,
poor
oh,
soul.
poor thing. Oh God, the trajectory. Sui, one top 5 most
uh-huh.
tragic, top 10 most tragic characters in the CV by far. Um, so, oh, by the way, Velvet told us to do her girl justice, do their girl justice. So, um,
Yep.
we will do so. We will try to do so in the podcast. Um,
Uh-huh.
So then,
Also, Manchu got offended by Charlotte
when?
for the
What
Mhm.
first
happened?
7 minutes. So Charlotte's questioning, like, well, how is the food made? Then, what's in the sauce?
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, it's a secret. And then, it's good. It's not personal preference. But I know a few laddies and lasses in Scotland who would love this stuff.
And then
And then
and
she's
then
just offended.
Cesar just asks, "Do tell me more about the kind of cuisine here." And then Miss Manchu just like, "Well, as you see, we have rice here. Surely this must be your first time with our Chinese delicacy." And then that immediately backfired with, "Oh, I've eaten plenty of rice back in my hometown. The taste is delicious."
The
He's
way
just like, "Yeah, I've eaten rice back in my hometown. This is not the first time I've eaten
you
rice."
fucking asshole. Yeah, I
Charlotte
love
doesn't even know what rice is.
that is true. Yeah, I guess Charlotte wouldn't have had rice. Yeah, that must
You
have been
don't have
such a culture
wheat.
shock. Yeah, for
Meanwhile,
fucking
Cesar's just like, "Similar. I'm from Asia, you nitwit. I know what rice is." Or he
I'm your
doesn't say,
neighbor.
"I'm your neighboring country, like just I don't know, south of Formosa." So,
so then as people start to talk about what they're going to do at the inn, Miss Manchu offers that there's a hot spring that's here that they're hoping everyone tries, and they're going to do some horseback riding. Dot dot dot. That'll be interesting for later, and then that there's and so Tang ask, oh, like, was this a temple initially? Like, you've done all sorts of great renovations to it. And Miss Manchu says, thank you. It was deeply sacred for many years. It was plagued with silly rumors when my father first opened it up, which is like
mhm.
foreshadowing. What is wrong with this
uh,
place?
And
Um,
yeah,
so Cesar
although
asks,
Charlotte doesn't even knows what a hot spring is, despite, pretty much owning a city, she doesn't know what a hot spring is.
uh-huh.
so Cesar
A hot
is
spring.
very interested and wants to know about the rumors. And Miss Manchu mercifully hears an outburst coming from the kitchen and is like, great, I can't talk about those rumors. I'm going to go check on my servants. So leaves the table and goes to check on the servants to see what's going on. Oh, I remember this scene. Um,
What?
so Miss Manchu goes back, and okay, I'm going to read this part of the scene. So Lee begins to follow Miss Manchu once they're out of earshot. Are you two trying to embarrass me? Lee says, I apologize. It was entirely my fault. He looks at the floor. So I think the outburst was, I think I made Shadow roll when he called her a bitch, I think, to see if it was heard from outside. And I think he rolled low, and so that's why Miss Manchu heard it.
Mhm.
So she takes Sui and Lee to the side. Um, you're trying to embarrass me. I apologize, my fault. Poor Sui says, "No, ma'am," and she bows to Miss Manchu, and Manchu says, "Why was it so? What was so important that it needed to be shouted among my guests? Honestly, tell me." And then Lee goes, "About how great this place was," which is
Uh-huh.
my favorite. I asked Shadow to roll. He rolled a 7, which is really low out of 30. Um,
Mhm.
and Miss Manchu slaps Lee
Mhm.
just right across the face. Um, and I rolled to see how strong Miss Manchu's slap was, and out of 30, I rolled a 28. So I wrote Miss Manchu slaps the piss out of Lee, which is a nice
Mhm.
old Southern phrase. Miss Manchu slaps the piss out of Lee to the point where she draws blood and sends him to the ground. And she says, if you ever lie to me again, I will throw you back to the filthy streets where you belong. I put you in charge out of the goodness of my heart, and this is how you repay me. And this is kind of the turning point for Sui, because I don't think she'd ever seen Miss Manchu get violent. Um, and poor Lee was held his hand to his face and says, "I don't want to go back." So we actually don't know. We don't. I don't think we find out why Lee doesn't want to go back. So there's sort of this like, what did Lee come from, kind of
Mhm.
thing. So that
If only Shadow was here.
I know.
Mhm.
I'll have to DM Shadow and be like, what was that all about? Um, and Miss Manchu apparently knows, because she goes, "No, you certainly don't, because if you do, I'll make sure you never get out. Now I'm going to return to my guests. You two need to make yourselves scarce. Go clean the grounds of the porch. Just stay away from the dining room since you want to have so many conversations." So they leave, and she has a smile on her face. She loves that she's asserted her authority. Miss Manchu is the hero of the story, clearly, and I'll have no other opinions about that. She's clearly the hero, obviously. So I think next was, of course, Miss Manchu sees all. Oh, is this the scene, Nick? Hang on.
What?
What?
I poor Nick. It's like 3 a.m. for him. So Miss Manchu
Where we
runs.
at?
Miss Manchu runs. We're at July 6th in the text thread, and I think it's where Miss Manchu runs into Alberto and asks where he is. Is this where she? Don't they go into the room together? I think this is.
They do it.
Isn't that like a while later in the story?
That might be later in the story, actually.
Because I remember that.
It's very
Yeah,
late.
that was much later. I think that
Okay.
was much later in the story.
That's much later.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like near the end.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Go back to sleep, Nick. You're good. So I'm just
Wait,
kidding.
no,
Yeah.
no.
I'm just
What
joking.
day? What day are we in?
I'm on 7/6/2021. Here I will. I'll do the copy message link
7.
thing.
Yeah, because all these messages are like at 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
but-
Yeah. I
Those
forgot.
Yeah,
looking at the
we-
timestamps.
Time zones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all.
There we go. That's where I'm at. I just posted it.
And that's
in
following the new trade that results from
text
forming and
chat.
joining a trade block is a trade creation.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah, I don't think anything actually happened here. I got this conflated with or confused with that
Yes.
other part.
Because that
You have a
scene is
comment.
special.
That scene is special, Nick. You're absolutely right.
There is something special hiding in that scene.
So Miss Manchu takes a bite of her food. She says, "Not bad." She thought, but not amazing the way she would have wanted it to, if she had made it. So so dinner goes off without a hitch, apparently, sort of. And as she's having dinner, she's kind of waiting for Charlotte to leave because she kind of wants the male guests all to herself. And and
The feud between those two was just so subtle to start.
that is when it starts. It starts so subtle.
It was already starting.
It was already subtle.
Yep.
Miss Manchu
To be fair, I think the start of the trend of our characters absolutely despising each other's guts.
Yeah.
great.
It happens every CV.
It was great. It
Like-
was great. We were
Meanwhile, Cess.
we did good in 10.
Meanwhile,
I think.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
He had his own thoughts.
Anyway.
I mean, Cesar himself was it was a mixed bag between my characters and Fire's. It's just, oh yeah, it's either they hated each other's guts or they were just downright oblivious to what Fire's characters were absolutely doing, or it was just a mixed bag. It's just most likely a mixed bag. So it's just a fair balance, as it should be.
So,
I will say,
go ahead.
I actually remember halfway through, I figured out why a logical reason as to why Charlotte could look so young.
Which
And
is?
this famous scene called Scottish folklore and myths.
She is her own cryptid? Is that what's happening?
I'm like, well, in this universe, might as well. And even though I didn't think that at the time, it's like, oh yeah, there could be this rumor that she was born to this, to a man in this beautiful, like siren-esque sea creature. And it could explain so many things about her character at the same time, and it just fit like a glove.
Yeah.
Yeah. AKA, we're going to start rumors that Charlotte is somehow connected to circles. We'll figure it out.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I mean, Cesar himself, one way or another, like, part of Cesar's backstory is that, remember that I mentioned that he was related to that character that I originally conceived to be, that was supposed to be part of me? Well, that character was his cousin, and that cousin had a son who was, let's just say, pretty enigmatic.
Oh.
But, I told Jesse this anyway, so.
Today on Swiss Family History.
Oh boy, Swiss family history. So, so the first day, probably the only day that goes off perfectly well, comes and goes, and
Mhm.
the night passes and the sun comes up. Also before that, the waitstaff kind of have to go a little farther out to stay in their little quarters, and which I think is so sad. So they have these really dingy quarters where they sleep, and they're all very worried about each other and want to make sure that they don't, get killed. So the day comes and goes, and we are on day 2. Everyone gets up, and they have, as the staff arrives, they see 6 horses tied up to 6 stakes on the ground. And Miss Manchu's already up and ready, and she says, "Good, you're here," to Lan as he comes through, and says, "The guests will be going horseback riding today, and you all will assist them." The other 2, Sui and Lee, are late, so Miss Manchu is a little concerned as to why Lan is coming here alone, and says they're still getting ready. Miss Manchu does not like this, of course. Um, so as as she's about to walk away, she turns to Lan and says, "Lee is looking at a demotion soon. I hope you're ready to take his place." Which I just love. I love a messy bitch that lives for the drama. I just love this. I love it.
Mhm.
I love that she's creating infighting in her own staff. It's great.
Keeps her on
Yep.
top.
I love it. I love it. Make the peons fight. That's what I say. So, so how did you all feel about knowing that there was going to be a horse riding situation at this point?
Well,
I was just Daniel Bryan. Yes, yes.
meanwhile,
yes!
I was just like, yeah, why not make him do some rich people shit? Because why not? Even though he may have traveled the
Yes.
world, but apparently he does not know how to ride a horse. Ish. I mean, come on, he might have had like a relative or two who knew how to ride a horse, but no, apparently
No.
he does not know.
And DBS, it only just now occurs to me that you named your horse Jesse. You named Charlotte's horse Jesse. Because I didn't know at the time.
There's a behind the scenes factor. This is another thing happened. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say. Oh yeah, Charlotte had a sister. Sister was beautiful. She bought a beautiful horse. 2 + 2 = 5.
Oh wow, that's also kind of weird and
Blah
gross
blah
and
blah
weird.
blah 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 blah.
Oh, you're saying that like we all know the text that's about to happen.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So
Yeah.
oh boy.
I
So
made things a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
so Charlotte requests her own horse. Of course, she can't ride on any other horse besides Jesse, her beloved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah,
And
I am a horse.
you are a horse. Is this
And I'm
true,
amazing.
Swift? Can you confirm that Jesse is a horse?
What? What? Whether he has
The
a long
audience is
face?
waiting.
What? Whether he has a long face? I'm not gonna comment on that.
Comment
I'm
on
just.
it.
All I'm gonna say is that he just has a very, very nice mane. I've
No,
seen
I
it.
don't.
Oh my god.
Jesse, your mane is shoulder length. Why would I not?
You two are so cute.
In the day in my hair, you'll hate it.
So
Yeah, just wait until you see mine. It has a gradient,
At least you
dark
cut
brown to a
yours.
lighter brown. I won't. At least not yet. I'm still relishing in the different shades of color that my hair has. Which,
so
by the way, my mom took a picture of. Anyway, continue.
as Miss Manchu goes back to check on the 2 people who are late, which are Sui and Lee. She actually goes to the I think she goes to the waitstaff quarters and confronts Sui and says, "Sui, don't think I don't know what's going on here. I see the way you look at each other." And Manchu closes the space between her and Lee. Lee says, "What do you mean?" And then Miss Manchu says, "If she gets pregnant, all 3 of you are out of here. Do you understand me? I will remove you with no remorse." So actually, Miss Manchu had no I mean, I don't know. I'll have to ask Shadow and or Vel, but I don't actually think that they had any intentions of being like their characters being like romantic. Like nothing ever happened between them. Um, but Miss Manchu obviously leaps to like, oh, like they're doing something gross, you know, and um, I'm just reading Vel right out of character, ma'am. How dare you? Um,
How?
so Lee goes, I wouldn't do such a thing. She probably doesn't even like me. The feelings probably aren't mutual, which is where we're seeing the crumbs of Lee's sort of incel behavior starting to begin. Uh, which is what
That description.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Lee is an incel, and this is
The original.
he's the original
Mhm.
incel.
Original from 1880.
From 1880, right?
Mhm.
Incels of
And that-
2022 bow to your leader, Lee. So you admit there are feelings there, do you? And so everyone out of character was like, does love her? And everyone's like freaking out about like, does he love her? Does he not love her? What's happening? Um, she says, so you admit there are feelings there, do you? And Lee's eyes widen. He has revealed too much. No, dot, dot, dot. Yes. Miss Manchu grabs Lee's face and pulls him in close, almost as if she's about to kiss him. And she says,
Ah.
I know what men want. It's only a matter of time either before they ask for it or they take it. Try to keep your male urges to yourself while you work under my father's roof. I forgot how fucking crazy Miss Manchu was. Really?
Mhm.
God, I really forgot. So he says, I can keep my urges to myself, and I wouldn't want her or myself to be fired. And Miss Manchu says, good. Good. She caresses his face. She caresses his face menacingly before pushing it away and returning to the horses.
Wow.
That's brilliant dialogue.
She is so fucking crazy. I live for Miss Manchu. That how crazy.
Stand.
So I know, really. God, I do not remember a lot of this. So, she says that woman is. Lee sighs. I'm safe. I live. She lives. And then begins to return to the others. So then we get little foreshadowing there, but then we get to some horse racing scenes. So who
Yep.
actually did everyone participate in the horse race? How did this work?
It was
No,
just
sir.
Yvonne, Charlotte, and Cesar.
That's right.
I think people got genuinely concerned about how I was writing Charlotte and the horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I was, which I kind of loved. I think what I love about Nee especially is that like there's a lot of hints to some really weird fucked up shit that might be happening, but nothing explicitly happens.
It
Like
looks wrong, but nothing is inherently wrong.
I mean, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of I mean, if we really want to get into it, there's a lot of suggestions that Miss Manchu is like sexually assaulting her staff, her underage staff. There's just a lot going on there. It's a fucking lot. And I'm only just now reading into it this way, but I'm like, wow, this looks wild. Fucking wild. And I don't know what Charlotte's relationship with the horse was. I don't.
She was just trying. The whole point is, she's trying to show an appreciation, and this was before the time I came up with the idea of her sister.
It's just wild. There's a lot of shit going on. So Miss Manchu smiles and looks at the guests and says, "Would any of you fancy a 10-leg race?" And everyone who was it? It was 3 people said yes. So we said it was Charlotte, Ivan and Cesar.
Yvonne and Cesar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Charlotte didn't say yes. She was pretty much just saying, "I'm gonna wipe the floor with you guys."
This is my favorite flex. Miss Manchu grabs a horse at random. She knew it would that she would win no matter which horse she chose, like a true bad bitch. Did you all? Here's a quick question for the two of you, because you two participated. Which did you both think you were going to win?
Yes.
No.
I knew I was going to win. I just knew it. I was like, I don't know how the rolls are going to go, but I know Miss Manchu's going to win.
And then a little bit more Charlotte and Miss Manchu, heat.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It was just a battle. It was just a battle. oh hey, there are 2 women here and a bunch of
Uh-huh.
guys.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, we're fighting.
Yep. Here we go. So
And then meanwhile, Cesar was just was just trying to bond with his horse. He's just trying to. He just named because the horse was named Albert, so he just called it Alberto instead. So he's just like, yes, Alberto, let's go, let's do this. It doesn't
Yes.
matter if we win. The journey's what counts.
Oh,
Let's
gosh.
go.
I will say this: Knee is just a CW show.
It really is. It's CW
It's
set in
just
1880.
CW.
It's set in 1880, yeah. And less teenagers. But it's so basically
You got 3 of them.
so yeah, 3. And so Miss Manchu puts Sui in charge of calling the race. And I also say Nee has some like really good. We don't have very many CV games, but Nee has 2 like rock solid CV games. And CV games, by the way,
Iconic.
are when we generally have like a game set up within the story that involves pretty much it's all pretty much called by the rules. So for the 10-legged race, we had each of us pretty much roll a d30 10 times, I think is how we did it. We went round robin and
Yep.
and we each rolled to see like how we're pushing ahead or behind in the race. So this I will never get over how I rolled all 10 times.
Mhm.
And this is what everyone thought it would. They're like, "Are you somehow rigging Roll'em?" Because it was ridiculous. So
paid roll.
I paid Roll'em off. they're
Yep.
they're my under the table employee.
I
So
wonder why your character survived.
so I know sometimes I have to like just kill them story wise. So we have Ivan rolls a 7. So this is the first leg of the race. We have 10 legs. Ivan rolls a 7. Cesar rolls a 13. Charlotte rolls a 9. Miss Manchu rolls a 19. So
Oh, boy.
That's our first one. And already we're seeing Ivan and Sui, I guess, have sort of developed like a familiarity. So Sui is like kind of silently cheering on Ivan, which is she bet on the wrong horse, quite literally. So Miss Manchu breaks out into the lead, and then leg 2 we have Cesar rolling a 5, Ivan rolling a 24, Charlotte rolling a 14, and Miss Manchu rolling a 26. And Artie Bell wrote rigged for Miss Manchu, which fair.
It was hella rigged.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna hold you up. It might have been. I don't know.
You know it's rigged the next round.
Oh, the
Yeah.
next round.
These rolls.
This next, yeah. So the 4th, I think we're on the 4th leg of the 4th leg. Cesar rolled a 20, Ivan rolled a perfect 30, Charlotte rolled a perfect 30, and Miss Manchu rolled a 26, which you see a bunch of out of character. Oh my god! Wow. Did everyone feel confident about winning at this point?
Yes.
Did you ever not feel confident about winning?
This was the one CV where I felt confident.
Poor Charlotte.
God damn.
So halfway through the race, Cesar rolls a 27. Fucking Charlotte drops down to a 5. I don't know what happened. Ivan drops to a 3. Ivan practically falls off his horse at this. I don't know at some point. And Miss Manchu is like, "Oh, work, bye everyone." 16. That's leg 3, really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was round robin rice. I think it's 2 each, and that's a leg.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I got it. 2 each, and that's a leg. Leg 3. Cesar takes advantage of the experience. So yeah, so I was surprised. Ivan's horse nearly putters to a stop. That's my favorite.
Like, Cesar was just enjoying the massive speed boost that he got. It was just like, you can do it! He just said to Alberto, "Avante!" Forward! He was just speaking throws of Spanish and Filipino throughout. He's just cheering for his horse. It's more like, he's like cheering less for himself and more for the horse, because he knows that the horse is, the horse is a good horse. He's best horse.
Not that great of a horse, because then Cesar rolled a 2.
But he doesn't have a grudge against his horse. He's just like, "Oh, you must have had a very bad. You must have been exhausted back there. Oh, that's fine. We could ride it slow if you want."
Should have had fucking
He's,
something
he's
for his
speaking.
horse. God damn.
He's speaking to his horse. He's speaking to his horse as if it's a travel companion rather than a method of riding. So
Charlotte would have been like, "You should have bought a horse, you idiot."
Ivan.
and he's just like, I don't ride a horse. I just ride carriages and trains everywhere
Should have
and boats.
rode a horse, you idiot.
So Ivan rolls a 21, Charlotte rolls a 19, Miss Manchu rolls a 26, which I'm
Rigged.
seeing people react as NO. So of course, Miss Manchu pulls ahead. We get
Hella
to
rigged.
another roll session. Fucking Cesar rolls an 8. Ivan rolls a 9, Charlotte rolls a 4, and Miss Manchu rolls an 18. God damn it.
This entire scene showed the duality of Roland.
Truly.
Yep.
Roland said fuck y'all. Truly. So I guess
Mhm.
that apparently was the halfway point. We get to another set of rolls. Ivan rolls an 11, Cesar rolls a 2. Charlotte rolls a 23, and then
Yay!
and everyone is like, yay, this is great. Miss Manchu rolls a 29.
No!
It's just like my fucking favorite. I love it. It's so fucking rigged. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, the joy. So everyone's crying and is really upset.
Yeah.
We get to another round where Ivan rolls a 22, Cesar rolls a 10, Manchu rolls a 13, and Charlotte rolls a 28. I see why you thought you were going to win. I see why you thought. You were
Yeah.
wrong, but I see why you thought.
No,
Yeah.
The next
you're not
round,
wrong.
the next set of rolls, we got Charlotte with a 16, Swift with an accidental. Oh no, that's what happened.
Oh, it's...
Ivan rolled an
What?
18, and then Cesar rolled a 15. Roland was delayed. I guess you all had done a D30 at the same time.
Yeah,
So
that
Yeah.
must have been the price same
That
second.
was probably why.
Yeah,
That was probably.
Manchu rolled a 25.
Yeah.
She's doing amazing. She's just doing amazing.
And then meanwhile, Cesar is just having a nice chat with his horse. He's just saying, I wish I could take you back to Capiz to my cousin Alejandro as a gift. He and his son Carlos would have loved you for sure.
Not
Just
enough.
idle
Well,
chatter.
Not enough to win.
Meanwhile,
It's just-
Charlotte is just laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing.
He's just doing idle chatter with his horse because earlier he noticed that Alberto was getting stressed for some reason. So he's just like, yeah, let's do idle chatter, see if that works. Like, hopefully that calms him down a bit. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna talk about my cousin who lives in Capiz, who's also rich as fuck. And yeah,
I love it.
just saying.
Poor Cesar.
So
So then Ivan rolls a 21, Charlotte rolls a 21, Manchu rolls a 28, and Cesar rolls a 6. Cesar's like just about out the race at this point.
yeah, he's just like,
He's done.
He's
and
done.
then he just misunderstood why his horse was in discomfort. He's just like, it's okay, Alberto, you don't have to come back with me to Capiz. He's just like, you don't have to come. He just thought that the reason why Alberto was like at discomfort because it's just like, oh, you don't want to leave this place? Oh, that's fine. You don't have to come with me. You don't have to come with me back to Capiz. It's fine. I could always just find another one who's like you, but that's just that's just playing favorites.
Mhm.
Let.
So then we finish with a final sprint, and I had everyone roll a 3D30. I should bring that back. I like those.
Fire, I
Yeah.
love your roll. 25, 25, 2.
2. Yep. So
Yeah.
So Manchu rolls a 52, Ivan rolls a 37, Cesar rolls a 61, and Charlotte rolls a 65, finishing strong with the lead. Miss Manchu ends up saying, fuck, she forgets herself in a moment. She can't believe she let another woman beat her. Yeah, so Miss Manchu isn't, for our 2022 listeners, Miss Manchu is not exactly a feminist.
She's not exactly a feminist, even though she is an archetypal boss lady, but
Yeah.
just a.
I feel like, had she had a few more women in her life, she might have actually, really embraced her less girl bossiness.
You
But
just
Yeah.
had two alpha dogs, and just big egos just clashing against each other.
yep.
Yeah.
How did it feel to win as Charlotte?
I called it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
I hated it. How did it feel
Cesar
to
is-
super duper lose?
Best moment of my CV career because I didn't die.
Like Cesar in this, like just second place. Cesar's laugh was extremely heartfelt the moment he followed up with the Charlotte. Sure, he didn't win, but he didn't aim to win at the start of this race. Cesar only wanted to enjoy his first time riding a horse and racing it.
But-
And then
Yeah,
he
well,
says,
good luck, because Cesar's horse just went exit left stage.
Yep.
he's just like, "You're a good horse, Alberto. I'm so proud of you."
something.
Yeah.
So the race doesn't quite end there for one of our contestants because what happens, Swift?
So this horse Cesar can come down from his horse and takes him off with it. It's just like this. It's just like that one comedic scene. It's just like, oh, let's do this. Yep, we're just fine. And then suddenly dash. And then roll a d30. Oi, whoa! And then Cesar yelped in surprise, holding onto the reins and onto his rosary. So he's holding two kinds of strings, the reins and the beads of his rosary.
Love it.
Thoroughly didn't expect this to happen. Prayers were quickly running out of his lips as it went on. He's praying in Filipino at this point. He's just, Aba Dios Maria, napupuno ka ng grasya, Panginoon Diyos na sumasa iyo. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. He's just saying it rapidly out of his lips as the horse, just as rapidly as the horse is trotting down the dirt road. And then I rolled a d30. You asked me to roll d30, and to the Lord's mercy, he got a 29.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Oh yes.
God
Yeah.
answered his prayer.
And what happened? This is when when he wasn't he was thrown off from his horse. Is this what happened?
Yeah, he's still, well, at that time he still wasn't
was
thrown
still
off
on,
the
yeah.
horse yet. And then I had to roll another d30, got a 17. Takes off faster, clearly disturbed and not concerned with whoever is on his back. And then he's just like, what is this? The race man, she just sees this. He's just like, what the fuck are you doing, Cesar? Why are you still racing with your horse? And then he's just like, he can't really tell Miss Manchu what's happening because number one, he's slowly getting, or not really slowly, he's going fast. What the hell am I saying? He's just, he's racing away from the scene, or rather his horse with him on it is racing away from the scene. So he can't really tell Miss Manchu, oh, hey, your horse just got out of control. How do I stop him? It's just like, Cesar had to do something. His prayers calmed him down some. He's just saying, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary. And then he decides, let's try doing this. Why didn't I try this before? Pull the reins. D30. No. D30, I get a 3.
God.
Like, and this is the first like instance of something actually being something strange.
Yeah, something
Cesar
being missed.
season,
And-
like Cesar sees and feels the ground rise momentarily from beneath his horse like a wave under the ground, which throws him off. So it's just like,
At that
like,
moment,
it's-
I'm curious. Did you have any theories there? Did anyone have any theories?
Well,
No,
I did.
Okay.
I did.
I was too new to the game.
I learned from last time. I immediately caught on to that clue, and based on the cryptid at that time, I was just like, yeah, that's the cryptid. There, problem solved. That's
Meanwhile,
the
Charlotte's
cryptid.
just like, hey, look at us. Two females doing good. Woman
Yeah.
power.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
And then Miss Manchu was
And
just like,
was a feminist. That's Charlotte.
says, and then he got thrown off the horse. He cried out as he was thrown off. He clutched his rosary, and it's just like, if I'm going to die from head trauma, please God take care of me. He just like, in case anything to him happens, Cesar left it up to God now. Rolled a d30. He got a 25. God answered his prayer again.
You know, I would have killed you there had you rolled poorly.
I mean,
Thank
to be
God I
fair,
wasn't on that horse.
Yeah. I would have. I was.
I
so
would
that-
have been. I would rolled a 0.
That would have completely changed the trajectory of the thing. But I would have. What would have happened is I would have had. I thought about having, like, if you rolled 1, I would have had. I would have just killed you. So.
I just crushed
There
the
you go.
legs.
Yeah.
Cesar lands without any major injury, but he certainly scraps his knee and has a sore butt that needs to be iced. I just like how he just stumbles off of the horse. Like, he just lands knee first, or rather legs first to the ground. And then he just rolls and then has a sore butt, and he's just like, ow.
Ouch.
He's-
So Miss Manchu, of course, is horrified because she wants to fuck Caesar, and
Oh my god.
what? What are you talking
Well,
about?
you blatantly admitted it. I
What?
heard it.
I don't.
It's recorded.
I don't think
It's
so.
recorded in the podcast.
What are you talking about?
The podcast.
Well, later in the
the
story, we're
podcast.
gonna learn it's exactly different.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Mhm.
The rest of the waitstaff puts the horses away, and what does Charlotte say? Very explicit terms. Do you remember?
Thank you. Take good of this winner right here. Because if anything happened to me, there will be hell to pay.
Yep.
And then
And that was unintentional foreshadowing if I've ever seen it.
But so I had no intention of anything dealing with Jesse, but when you said that, I was like, ding!
I just gave you a freaking curveball down the middle.
Handed that to me on a platter. I'm telling you.
anyway, Cesar gave a small nod, smiling despite the obvious scrap on his knee. Mabuti naman ako. I'm okay. He just translates his Tagalog with English every so often. And then he's just so sad because Alberto just disappeared, or the horse Albert disappeared. He doesn't know what happened to him. The poor equine.
I know what happened.
Reading
The
that
horse
made me
lived.
really confused.
The servants will sort all that out. How do you feel? And then sore, or it hurts, but not that much. Knee has a wound, but I can handle it. Tie up the rest of the horses. I'm going to get Mr. Cesar to his room, and then he's just like, oh, it's all right. I can go back to my room. Like I said earlier, I can handle it. You don't have to worry. Bandages? I'm sure. Don't fret. Don't fret, Senorita Manchu. He always addresses everyone with Senor, Senora, or Senorita. It's just so him. And it was customary for a guy of his class at that time.
Oh.
Because, yeah, he's a mestizo boy. Anyway.
I will say, without spoiling anything, at least, the horse, I would hope, lived.
Yeah.
Did the horse live? Did Alberto live?
We'll get there.
I just like how.
What do you
I
mean
just like
you'll
how
get there?
I just like how you
yes.
referred to the
What if
horse
you did with
Albert
the
as
horse?
Alberto.
The horse actually
Yeah.
doesn't.
2 hours away from that point.
The horse doesn't come back, right? Yeah. Well,
But of course.
I thought we find out, or maybe was it ever found out, or did the horse just run away?
I don't think we figured out about that single horse itself. I think we figured out the rest of the group.
Oh, because
Yeah.
I thought the horse got. Okay, it's fine. We'll talk about it later.
But
So
of course.
so we have one of our very rare CV quiet times. Quiet
Yes.
times.
They were needed.
Yeah, we always needed
It's-
them. Quiet times,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, are when no action can happen. So nothing like crazy, like no one can die, like no one can have any crazy thing happen to them. It's just for like, it's basically so that the fire can go to bed and everyone else can do other stuff and do
Yep.
and have scenes. And I think you two actually had a scene during this quiet time. Did you guys
Yes.
see this? What was this about? Was anything? It was just about like,
Well-
were you okay, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah,
do you
it's
mind
literally
starting it up,
because
Jesse?
I just see I'm doing okay being said by Caesar. Also, I am not reading all of this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just like a check-in. So if we can scroll down to the next day that happened, I don't remember what the next day. I think
I really
this was.
wanted to talk about like the scene in this quiet time because it's my
go for
favorite
it.
in
Oh
the
my god, go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, like the fact that first off, Charlotte was just like, "Hey, Spaniard, I mean Cesar, it's Charlotte. Are you doing okay? Do you mind if I come in?" And then he's just like, Cesar's just like, "Mabuti naman ako. I'm doing okay." Cesar called in a language that was definitely not Spanish, so he's just, yeah, definitely not Spanish. Don't look the best. That knee looks pretty banged up. Do you mind if I take a look at it? I was going to wash up my wound, but sure. It's honestly like that one scene where it's like, yeah, character bonding. This is so cool.
I love
Character bonding.
Actually using the quiet time to advantage.
I love when y'all
Yeah.
use the quiet time to your advantage. Cute moments.
Everyone
always happen.
should.
And I just wanted to like divulge a little bit into the book that Cesar was reading while
Yes, go
during
for
this
it.
quiet time. So Urbana and Feliza, right? So just for context, Urbana and Feliza is it's actually like an assortment of letters between two sisters. Urbana and Feliza Urbana, as the name suggests, is the sister who's living in the city, and Felisa is the sister who's living in the province. Like, it's a series of letters between Urbana and Felisa. Urbana writes to her sister like the matters of etiquette, like in the city, like how to be an upstanding person, how to be a person of a graceful and social, like graceful bearing in a social atmosphere. And then Felisa takes all of these letters to heart. So it's kind of like it's just it's like a detailed guidebook on how to be an upstanding, very very formal person.
Oh,
So
God.
yeah,
Very much fits him.
yeah,
The
that very
most-
much.
Think about this. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
this scene is important.
I was about
Yeah.
to say after that scene, after the "Are you okay" scene, Charlotte and Lan have a very interesting moment that I completely forgot. Or is there something
I
before
was gonna
that?
say, well, I was gonna say this to Star was between the scene between Charlotte and Cesar was, oh yeah, Charlotte took off the mask because peripheral vision,
Oh
Yeah.
yes, tell me about
Peripheral vision.
which makes me think, how thick was that mask?
that.
And this was the part. This was the part where Caesar actually asks her, "Why do you wear it?"
Oh right.
Because it's a. Oh, I know why. Because it's gonna be a fashion trend in about 140 years.
Let's
And
just,
then in
I guess,
and then about 150 years, it's going to be needed around the world.
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be needed. Why do you wear that mask? What's it for?
Princess Bride.
No one, like the mere fact that he actually asked her. It was just the fact that Charlotte was actually taken aback in this scene. I guess
This
that's
is about
just
the
me.
time I came up with the idea of, oh yeah, there's a reason why she wears it.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it.
Uh-huh.
And
Like
then the
language barrier. Life can bear meaning to me. It's a blessing, one that I thank him for every day because I get to experience it with all my senses, enjoying it. So that's like the part where they have like this existential discussion.
Also, let's not forget that Sui and Ivan also had their own interaction at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what were
Yeah,
they
Sui
talking
and
about?
Ivan.
What were they talking about?
They were talking about.
There's a
Yeah.
flower garden, right? I think Ivan
Yeah.
was getting toured around the garden.
Oh
Yep.
yes, this is when they're whatever the fuck. What do you guys think was happening between them? Were they just falling in love? Like what do you think that was
I th-
about?
I think Ivan was just trying to
Ivan,
poach her, like, get the hell out of Dodge.
like Ivan was just like he was forming a friendship. Sui was falling for him.
It felt
Yeah.
this thing that was very interesting to me that I loved, and I don't even think Void intended to do this with the character, but it was sort of this idea of like this, basically this white man coming in and being like, I can help you. I mean, it is true that he should have been helping her. Everyone should help her because Miss Manju's horrible. But it was like this white man coming and being like, "Here, poor Asian girl, let me help you." And she was like, "I'm in love," because she's a kid. Like, of course, an older man is showing
Yeah.
her attention, and she's like, "You attention, me,
Forget the
love."
39-year age gap.
Yes,
Yeah,
which wouldn't have
forget
been
the
that
age
weird
gap.
back
It's
then.
like it was a
But-
standard. It
I was
was
about to say,
just
this is the 1800s.
Yeah,
it was the 1800s. Like age gaps were not exactly like.
It was the Wild West, but forget the word West and just put the entire world.
Yeah, the wild,
Yeah.
wild everywhere. So yeah,
I don't want to be rude.
they have their moment, and
And
then there's a good, I believe there's a good Charlotte Land scene. If I'm not mistaken, or is it a
does he have a
Charlotte?
name?
Oh, Charlotte Lee.
I'm just
Liam
going.
Land.
It's, it's like
Yeah.
I see more. Jeez, this was the beginning of me and Swift just creating such deep interactions that just clogged the CVs.
Yeah.
I full disclosure, we're doing this having we're about to start CV12, the final CV, and I can't wait to put you all in some of the stuff we're gonna put her. Anyway, it's fine. I have
More
ideas.
paragraphs.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So
It's just the start of those
So
deep
it was Charlotte and
conversations.
Krishna that was next.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to get to like the sort of stuff that moves the plot forward, because I believe there was
I know the scene you're talking about.
I think it was when Lee reveals to Charlotte that shit's not doing so hot around here.
So much scrolling.
I know.
So much. Yeah,
much.
because it's just for the most part, I'm still reading the conversation between Charlotte and Cesar because number one, it's Jesse and I. Number two,
I love. Oh my god,
number
I'm so proud of fucking Shadow. He's so amazing. So hang on. So let me just read out this part of the scene. Um, so Lan says, "But it's my job to clean up any mess." Replies, "Not even sure what's happening. The guest usually never cleans up at all." What is he cleaning up? Sir, can I help you with cleaning? I guess they're cleaning the dining room. Um, and then Charlotte says, "Fine, if you want to come in." Oh, if you want to come in, I have one rule: you do not speak of this. Open the doors a bit more. So I guess they're
I'm
in
trying to
Charlotte's
find this.
room. Um,
Mhm.
I can't see my name I can't see my name in the sea of freaking ocean colors.
I know, right?
yeah.
Lan says, "All right, ma'am." Lan replies and gives a short bow and enters the room, not looking to see if any sort of mess Lee might have made. What was he doing in the guest's room? Oh, what was Lee doing in the guest's room? Um, Charlotte closes the door and she enters, promptly locking it, guiding Lan to a table afterwards. "Sit. You really wanted to know. Now Lee is going to tell you." Lee says, "What?" looking at Lan, and then looks at Charlotte. "What?" Lan says, "What? I thought he was sick," replying on his knees.
Ire, can
Um,
you link me to this?
yeah, she's
Mhm.
sick
Because
in the head.
I cannot find it.
Sure.
Mhm.
I'm gonna copy message link right now. Because I have no idea what they're talking about.
Because I'm just
Mhm.
at come in now.
Yeah.
Wait, why did this message get 4 freaking interactions?
Mhm.
Why are you asking for poison? Are you mad?
So this.
Oh, now I remember. This is when Lee was asking, was trying to poison Miss Manchu.
Yeah, I found it oddly comedic
Mhm.
that Lee went to the snake room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the probably Tibetan viper room.
But
Mhm.
did he approach Charlotte about this, or how did they get into Charlotte's
Okay,
room?
so let's see.
Do you
Um,
remember this?
Lee returns to where the rooms. Oh, okay, so Charlotte was still laying down on the bed, thinking of the interaction with Cesar, not knowing what to think, also thinking of the horse race because freaking minds. Then Lee returns to where the rooms were. He goes to the Viper room and then knocks. Do you have any point? Is everything okay in there?
Oh.
And that's where it begins.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
see, that's where I was. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I was a
Mhm.
little bit ahead. Yeah, so set up the scene. So what was so okay. So they were having a conversation about poisoning Miss Manchu? Is that
Yeah,
what it
so
was?
it
Yeah.
starts just. So Charlotte's just kind of depressed, also kind of just lost in thoughts on her bed, like
Yeah.
quarter smitten. Then Lee comes in, freaking like Charlotte's like, what says, "Do you have any poise? Is everything okay in there?" Charlotte's just like,
Yeah.
"Do you act at me as a fool?"
yeah. Like just to abridge the entire conversation, it's just
Yes.
yeah, you can't fool
That was
me,
my
Lee.
conversation.
Lee's just like, I want to poison someone, and then he's just like, you're asking me to do nihilist I may be, but I will not. I am not
Oh
up for that
yeah,
shit.
Charlotte was a nihilist.
Yes. That was
God,
actually what you
everything makes more sense.
that's what you told me. That's actually what you wanted to make her. That's the first thing you told me is you wanted to make a nihilist character. Um
He
s-
seems to be.
I
so
forget. I forget why I wanted to make a nihilist character.
so basically Lee has hatched this plan that he's like sick of Miss Manchu's shit and that he's going to poison her. And so he kind of tries to conspire with Lan, who is kind of not down with it.
Also, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna point out this line from Lee. So after, Charlotte says, "Are you mad?" Says, "I am not." No, I totally didn't want to do that. I'm not mad at Ivan for showing more affection to Suey than I do.
Oh my god. And then he's
Oh
I was
just
no.
gonna
like,
say that's a line that shouldn't be glossed over.
yeah.
incel. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
why
And
would
then
I
he's
be?
just like,
Why would I be mad?
he's just like, he shouldn't be showing more affection to her than me. And then And then meanwhile, Ivan is just this, according to Void himself, like throughout the out of character messages, Void himself states that Ivan is probably like the biggest oblivious man in history. Like the most oblivious man when it comes to affection. So he's just like, why are you having a grudge? Or it's not even the question of why do you have a grudge against me? It's more of, yes, are you okay, sir? And then Lee's just like it's just a ticking time bomb inside. Just trying not to combust at the sight of this man who is supposedly flirting with Sui.
Lee
So
is unhinged. It is all coming undone.
I-
So,
I'm just gonna say, writing with Shadow and the Sea was just one of my favorite times. Just writing in any
so
thread ever.
good. It was so
I
good.
just this entire thread, I just got to unleash.
Yes.
Mhm.
It was so good. So yeah, so this is also when we see Charlotte become really unhinged. So basically, Lee and Lan have kind of been speaking in Chinese about the plot to murder Miss Manchu, and Charlotte's like, "Speak English. What are you guys doing?" And eventually, Lee comes out and says, "I just want that woman dead. She has committed so many wrongs." And
Charlotte just asked, wait, are you in love?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, yes, maybe, yes.
What made Charlotte fly off the hinge like this so much? I loved how
Well,
kind of how unhinged she was.
it was like this. This gives up her weight. She was really angry by even the thought of killing some of us on table. She may believe life is meaningless, but she was at least above the act of killing in cold blood.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that's actually a pretty solid explanation behind all of this. Oh yeah, I don't care about life, but oh my god, you absolute buffoon!
Uh-huh.
So so we get back into action time at this point, and Lanier's knocking the door, and then at Charlotte expecting some kind of orders. I have him roll a d30. Miss Manchu can hear the faint raised of voices, but isn't sure what's happening while sitting with Alberto. What were they doing? Hey.
Yeah. What was that?
Um,
So
were they already in? They were in Alberto's room at this point. Is that what's
well,
happening?
like it was just Miss Manchu and Alberto in their room, like in
Right.
the wolf room. It was just the two of them in the room. And then it's just
Yeah.
like, say, Miss Manchu would like he actually just speaks. Hang on a minute. Where was that starting message? Alberto took up. The guests they seem interesting, and you happen to be fond of. Let's see. Yes, Mr. Cesar. He appears to be tremendously religious. Odd.
Oh,
And then he's
that's
just like, the
right.
poor fool, you should have seen him riding a horse, couldn't tell up from down. He even found himself throwing off the beast. Well, excuse the ground for making him, like, fall off. That's just saying.
I will say this. I don't want to just keep going over this one scene, but it was important. But I just love how he just wrote like, "Oh, food poisoning, right? It's
Mhm.
food poisoning. You
Say,
know,
Miss
Yeah.
Manchu, you would.
he'll be fine. You know, it's not a pretty sight. A lot of stuff has come out of him. You know, someone has to clean up the mess he made.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yes. Oh,
Say,
Where's
Miss
the
Manchu.
lie?
Miss Manchu, you wouldn't happen to know what kind of business Mr. Cesar runs or how he got his riches, and then Miss Manchu's just like, I haven't a clue. Probably his parents, if I had to guess.
Oh,
That's true, though.
this is when it started. Yes.
Yeah, like,
Oh,
I was just like, the fuck were you
Shadows down the
thinking?
audience.
Yeah, it's just like, earned money looks different on a person, such as yourself, and then he's just like, I mean, I get that. I get that Cesar inherited the hacienda from his parents Eusebio and Andromeda, but still, yeah. But yeah, at the very least, he is responsible for his. He's taking care of what he has inherited. He just rightfully earned it. I mean, I will say.
Ugh.
After years of studying in Spain, and then he goes back. He sees that, oh yeah, you passed your university classes? Good, here's the hacienda, have fun. Make sure you take care of it. Anyways.
So Miss Manchu hears the voices coming from some room being, raised voices. Miss Manchu does not like raised voices. She is not into that.
Mhm.
So
That means trouble.
she leaves.
Mhm.
She sadly leaves Alberto's room. She's vaguely disappointed by the fact that she keeps asking him questions about who's your favorite person here, and Alberto's like, Mr. Cesar seems interesting, and I'm like, but my tits, look at my tits, and he's like, Mr. Cesar seems interesting. And I'm like, all right, fuck you. If you're not going to stare at my fun bags, I'm going to go see what's going on in the other room. So she goes to see what is happening.
Oh.
And she goes into the Viper room and knocks on the closed door. Hello, is there a party I wasn't invited to? Lee is tensed. It's here, he mouths. He begins to walk back towards everyone. Ivan gives a concerned look to Sui and then at the door, and he's sidestepping between her and the door. Charlotte opens the door. You'll want to see this. Sui takes a step back, not realizing that Miss Manchu is there. Sir, you're not leaving until you explain. Who do you love and why were you going to poison someone for them? And why do you want to hurt Miss Manchu? Miss Manchu steps in puzzled. Well, why are all my servants in here and without trays? God, she's so awful. What's going on?
Mhm.
Lan hears Miss Manchu and shuts up. You better work, Lan. She goes to her and bows with a concerned face. Miss Manchu, we have a major issue, she says. What's the issue? Charlotte says, oh, well, quite simple. One of your servants has something to say. Miss Manchu turns, oh, do they? Well, step forward and say your piece. Ivan sighed, trying his best not to glare at Miss Manchu. Sui steps forward and says, ma'am, I heard yelling, so I came and checked on what's wrong. And like Lan said, I think we have a problem. Miss Manchu's ready for what comes. Lee thinks a bit. Should he say it? Should he not say it? He begins to think. Eventually he says, I don't know how to say this. I just said that Sui is amazing, and I think they said it wrong. And they said it was wrong. And then Miss Manchu says, well, I think you're both amazing. That's why I hired you, she says with a smile on her face.
Ugh.
So Lee
It's just oozing.
flat out lies.
Fucking plastic.
Lee flat out
Fucking
lies.
plastic.
Miss Manchu lies. Everyone's lying. It's great.
Except for Cesar, he's the only one who doesn't lie.
I mean, except
This
for
way is good
Charlotte.
of flying.
Except for Charlotte too. Charlotte's really trying to spark some flames too. She said, "Say what she said. Say what he called you." Sui says, "What?" Why, of course, I think you both have excellent skills in home care, says Miss Manchu, lying. I came to see if everything was fine here, says Lee. Now we may all leave, and promptly books it out. And Miss Manchu says, "Is that all? It seemed like there was more tense in here. I feel like something was happening up in here." Lee's like, "No, they're confused. Everything's good." And then Charlotte says,
shut up, Snake.
Charlotte is unhinged. Charlotte is unhinged.
With inside the Viper room.
Inside the Viper room.
When asked for poison, oh, shut up, Snake.
Miss Manchu asks if the staff has offended Miss Charlotte. And she says, I'll let Landsworth speak for me. How about my staff and I deal with this privately, and you all get ready for the hot spring?
Oh God, that scene.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna skip down to. No. We still have stuff happening.
Just wait. You asked me for poison.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other part that's interesting. Yeah, so Charlotte basically reveals that Lee asked for poison, and Miss Manchu, not wanting to appear like there's discord within the group, she says, "Now, Miss Charlotte, we're a joking bunch here. Perhaps you're not familiar with the Chinese way of humor," which is a dig because Miss Manchu hates Charlotte, and so does Fire Demon. So it works out.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street.
I like Charlotte. I
do like Charlotte. She's just so fucking evil. I just feel like she's so fucking crazy. Not crazy.
She's more of an anti.
She's an
She's an
anti-hero.
anti-hero.
She is an
What do you
anti-hero.
expect
And then
from someone who thinks life is worthless?
There you go. There you go. So then Charlotte is fully that, like, if you've ever seen that, any movie of like a family getting around the table and someone wants to instigate a bunch of fights, that's Charlotte. Charlotte, like, say what you said to her. Say what you had said to her. Over there.
It's
Yes,
just
her. Right there.
the younger brother that's had too much beef with the older brother, and
Yeah.
Thanksgiving they just spill it.
Yeah, someone gets drunk and is like, "You slept with her sister," and everyone's like, "This is not the time to do this. It's Thanksgiving, Mom." Anyway, so
It's perfect time.
Charlotte says, "Lee claims you slap him. I don't find that amusing." And then Miss Manchu, thinking quick on her feet, says, "Lee was teaching me different fighting styles, weren't you, Lee?" And then Lee, as a good servant, says, "How dare you assume that Miss Manchu would hurt me? She's a great boss." And that's right. That's absolutely fucking right.
Then meanwhile, Charlotte just rebuts that immediately.
She
because I
constantly
witness
slaps us.
power.
She says, she constantly slaps us for simple reasons. Last night she made me draw blood. You said this exact line.
I got the receipts.
I got the receipts. So Ivan, of course, we're very unclear of his intentions, but grows concerned for Sui, checked to see if she was okay. And Sui faints on the spot after rolling a 2. And so Miss Manchu says, "Let's get her to the servants' quarters. Let's get her out of here. Please, God, let's end this because you're embarrassing me in front of my richie riches." So we all the waitstaff and Miss Manchu get the fuck out. Of course, Miss Manchu has to put on a good show, really caring for Sui, holding her hair, rubbing her hair, all that good stuff.
Meanwhile, I just like that throughout all of this, Cesar is just nearly dozed off on his bed. He's just oblivious to all that was happening like a few rooms away, and it's just like, hey, that's just nice background noise. I could fall asleep to this. I mean, I had an
plot development.
I mean, he's just like, I think during this time, like, he was actually speaking to Soap's character, Tang Jelan, and he was just like, I'm sorry, Mrs. Jelan. It's just, today was a bit taxing for me. And it's just like, he was actually speaking with Soap's character. We should talk about how, like, Tang Jelan had, like, she got married at age 19 to, like, a rich man within China, and then she has, like, her only son who is also 9. She has an only son who is 19 and is about to get married, and then Cesar is just like, may God bless your son and his marriage. That's just something I needed to raise. It's just, yeah. And if Cesar he would have sent like wedding gifts. He's the kind of guy who would be sending like wedding gifts that are not blenders. Instead, he would be sending like either rice cookers or electric fans or a nice little furniture piece. Yeah, he's just the kind of guy who would give like the best wedding day presents. He's that kind of person.
I'm gonna say it and say it again. I love how you wrote Miss Manchu.
She is just a terrible, terrible person. She's one of my favorites. I wish she had been nominated, or she won in my folder for best RP character. She's so much fun to play. Anyway, so she gets everyone out. She gets Miss Manchu gets the servants out. And she basically says, "Congratulations, Lan. You're the head of servants. Lee, I'll deal with you later." And Lee is like, "Fuck you, Lan. You lied and you took my job." And Lan was like, "I'm not the one deranged enough to kill a man because he looked attractive." And ma'am, as head of waitstaff, Lee is my responsibility now. Any punishment towards him should be given to me. It was my fault this escalated. And Miss Manchu says, "I'm glad you said that." And they all put Sui down. "Remain there, please." Lan says, "Yes, ma'am." She goes out of the quarters and rips off a branch from a tree. I felt so horrible for this scene. This scene makes me very sad. And so
this scene makes me smile.
it's so sad. So essentially what is happening is that Miss Manchu is going to punish Lan for Lee's mistakes, which is horrible. And oh no, that's right. She hands the branch. I take it back. This is what happened. She handed the branch to Lan to punish Lee. That's what it was. In front of
I just
her.
read the parentheses.
That's
Oh,
right. In
he will
front of
do
her.
it again. It was
And so she said, Miss Manchu says, "Your head of servants, one of your subordinates stepped out of line. Now you must punish them to assert your dominance." Which is why, like, there's something weirdly, like, underlyingly sexual about the way that she treats her underage
There
staff.
is.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She'd
And
make a great military search.
I mean,
Yeah.
if she didn't want to get arrested for a lot of sexual assault does happen in the military, so they probably wouldn't get prosecuted. So then Lan is trying to appeal to her, saying like guilt works better than corporal punishment, and basically she says, "Did she get out of it? Is that what happened? Did she end up getting out of it?" I've been doing this a lot longer. I know it works. Take the branch. He'll be dealt with in my way. That's neither here nor there. I think. Did she end up actually hitting? I don't think she ever actually hit Lee. Did she? Did Lan?
I'm just looking at this one line Shadow said.
Oh, which line?
Before she starts, will servant be punished if they like to guess? Like they
Mhm.
want to do it with them.
Oh God. Oh, so so weird.
Indecent behavior. Anyway.
Oh gosh.
Just you forget about all this stuff, then comes back and
I
like,
know,
what are
right?
we all doing?
So Miss Manchu says so Lan is trying not to punish Lee, and she says, well, if you don't punish Lee, I will punish Sui while she sleeps. It'll give her such a fright to wake up to a beating. Oh boy. And so how does this I don't even remember how this scene ends. And poor Vel is trying to roll to wake Sui up, and she keeps rolling under 10. She rolls like 2, 6.
2, 6, 9.
Yeah,
That's the
Nice.
line.
it's just great. So eventually it does work. So Lan finally says, harming them would make them less efficient at work. The guests will question what happened, and knowing how Lee caused a scene, he will do it again and complain about it. If it happens to Sui, the same happens. If it were me, no one would know. No one would even notice, and Lee would work at an efficient rate out of fear of others being hurt for his actions. So Miss Manchu considers this, and finally, she says they'll even praise you for having such efficient staff who work effortlessly with no signs of being hurt like other owners would. And finally, Miss Manchu relents and says, "You two get ready for the hot spring. Be professional. I swear it'll be your heads." And so those two get up, and Miss Manchu and Sui have a scene alone, which is very frightening. You don't want to be alone with Miss Manchu unless you're Alberto.
What was happening though? Like, Shai rolled a 5, and then she could hear multiple people in that shed, and that was it. Like multiple people chatting or something. I don't know. That was the one moment.
Oh, because so Lan wanted to figure out like what was being said, so I think she was trying to listen in. So yeah, it takes a few steps to listen in to eavesdrop, and basically because Shai rolled so low, Lan could just hear that two people were talking, and that was Manchu and Sui. Yeah, so she didn't get anything from it basically. And I don't know how that scene ended. Let me see. I'm scrolling down. Are you awake? You feeling much better? I would ask Miss Manchu about it. I'll see you soon at the hot spring event. Get ready. I think we can all leave together, right, Sui? Right, because Lan came back to make sure that nothing weird was going to happen. And so Miss Manchu was like, okay, it's fine. Everyone get ready. So then we'll skip down to the hot spring scene. Do you all remember this? Is there something that happens before that's of note?
Yeah, there was something that happened before it. It was Alberto coming up to Cesar's room. It's just like, yep, this is
You planned this, right?
Like, well, it was partially not planned, but then partially not planned because Nick like wrote it on the spot, and then I was just like, "What are you planning?" And then he's just like, "Well, I'm just like, I was just like, I was totally on it." just, yep, let's do this. But I figured out exactly what was going on, like what Nick had in mind for for Alberto, like
Spoiler alert, it didn't go as planned.
Oh, I cannot wait. I forgot about that whole bit. Oh, I cannot wait to get to that part because I have questions.
yeah, this is the part where this is the I think shortly after the help and Miss Manchu scene in the shed. I think this was the time that yep, we're gonna prepare ourselves for the hot spring, and then Sui comes in. Asks Cesar, "Are you willing to go down? Are you ready to go down to the hot spring?" And then Cesar's just like pointing to his bandage, and he's just like, "Thank you for the offer, most surely, but I am injured for now, so." Yeah. Like, oh no, thank you. I don't think I can. Gracias, though. And then, good afternoon, Mr. Cesar. May I come in? This conversation's topic is a little bit sensitive. So he's oh, phone. Hang on a minute. Phone. But then I think Nick can fill in the details.
Oh yeah. So what seed were you planting here, Nick?
With
you
the
remember?
whole
With Cesar, yeah.
it's hard not to spoil it.
Oh yeah, I guess it is
Try
hard.
not to
Yeah,
spoil it.
I guess we'll wait. You know, we'll talk about the
The
whatchamacallit,
whole interaction.
we'll talk about the hot spring scene for
Yes.
now. So there's a hot spring sort of in a building is built around a hot spring outside of the hotel, where everyone's gonna get naked, or at least two people are, Miss Manchu and Miss Charlotte.
It's always those two.
It's always those two. Do you remember the scene at all? Jesse, DBS?
This entire scene, I was like, can I do this?
I loved it.
The entire scene was like, am I actually allowed to do this?
Yeah, I mean, no one had bathings. I mean, bathing suits were a thing back then, but I mean, it's the 1800s. You get fucking naked, right? So Miss Manchu has a banging ass body because, of course.
Oh, Charlotte.
And so does Charlotte, and they're just, they're just, they're just two ladies, neck and neck, trying to compare, bodies. It's great. it's this we did this one for the straight guys. That's what we did. We did this scene for the boys. And Kitten says the hot spring were a public bath. Even now, people who bathe in them still get naked. So fair. See, it wasn't a sexual thing. People get naked all the time. It wasn't a competition, right? DBS? Definitely not. Right? No.
I think you made it a competition the second you made freaking Miss Manchu.
Yeah, everything's a competition with her. God, I fucking love her. So poor Ivan is in there. So who all got in the hot spring? Was it Ivan, Charlotte, and Manchu, and that was it?
I didn't.
Yeah, I know Albert. Yeah, Alberto pretty much hung out in his room.
Very
And
private man.
I know he was.
Wait, there's that part with Cesar though.
Did he? I think the people who were in the hot spring? I think it was those three. Is that it? I think
And
that was it.
simultaneously, it was Cesar and Alberto.
Yeah, and then those two are having their scene. Yeah, so you guys can talk about your scene if you want to. While so yeah,
Well,
they're down in the hot spring. Those two are upstairs.
Good.
I
So
know
I
it's
was
hard not to
looking at it.
spoil.
So I was looking at it like, okay, I've missed a bunch of things. Let's try and do something. So
Yep.
I'm trying to develop this character that I did on the spot because I'm a masochist. And I hate myself.
Yes, you are.
Masochist.
So
But that's how you come
I
up with
needed-
awesome characters. So
I needed spice in Alberto's life. So what better place to find spice than a religious Filipino man,
yes.
Spanish man?
Filipino mestizo.
By the way, if
Mestizo.
you read in Bonfire Bar text chat, Kitten is agreeing with you, Nick. She says, "I do this all the time. Same, Nick. Same." So
Yeah.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one, guy. I hope not. But
You got the holy one.
Jesus, it's 4 a.m. So I needed a little bit of history. So I traced a little bit back. Because I did have a file on my... There we go. So I had this file on my Google Drive that I kind of developed really quickly. That was just specific for this character I was trying this out. And okay. And I needed something. So I picked a character at random. And it ended up being Caesar. I needed to find some kind of correlation. So after all these scenes and things, I think me and Swift actually talked for a bit to develop this in a more
Yeah,
interesting way, but it ended up not happening. I'm sorry, Swift.
it's fine. But to be
'Cause
fair, it was just within chat that we decided, oh yeah, this is the backstory as to
this is
why
the
Alberto would naturally just naturally hears the surname Legion. It's just like, doesn't that surname sound familiar?
Yeah, so the short story was that Alberto was trying to find another good hunting spot. And in the Philippines, there was this place that happened to be owned by Caesar's parents.
Like Eusebio and Andromeda, but especially Eusebio.
And at the time, Alberto tried negotiating. Uh, what was it? I think Alberto was really young, like considerably young, like 18 years old or something.
I think he was in his 20s or 30s, and Caesar
Maybe
was like
something
still in
like that.
Spain. He was still
Maybe
in
some
Spain at that time.
20s, like early adulthood, and you wanted a new place, a new hotspot for hunting in the Philippines. And that place happened to be owned by Caesar's parents, who did not agree to lend him the land to just hunt on.
Yeah,
So
there's just like, this is property.
he ended up developing such a grudge that several, like 40 years later, he
Like,
would come after their son.
yeah,
Wow.
like 20-ish years later, he'd come after. It's just like the Legion family. It's just like, God damn Legion. And then he notices that the name Cesar Legion is just like, Legion. Is he the son of this man? This man whom I
So
tried to broker?
very man that ruined my entire career
Ooh.
in the Asia department.
Oh, I don't think I even knew this. Okay.
You didn't know it because it didn't happen.
Oh, fair enough.
It's like he didn't actually do.
Well, because I believe at that time I was really occupied with something else IRL. So I didn't
Yeah.
have much time. And also because time zones are a thing, and I
Time zones are
hate
a
them.
thing. They're horrible.
And I hate them.
Yeah,
So
horrible time zones.
so I am going to breeze through this next scene because we have probably about less than an hour left. So,
Mhm.
so it was
It's been 2 hours and a half.
I know,
Weird.
yeah.
What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
It's been wild, yes. So, I mean, we get a very, very cheeky, fun, hot spring scene with Charlotte asking Manchu a bunch of questions about, oh, have you been in a relationship? Simultaneously, we have Sui there, who is sort of the like staff on hand, and Ivan is
Mhm.
sitting there. And at this point, Manchu is aware that Ivan may or may not have feelings for Sui, has some sort of affinity for Sui. We don't know. And
Mhm.
I think it was explicitly stated that he just wanted to bring her to, his business.
yes, but Miss
Yeah.
Manchu, of course, read this as some sort of lust or romantic situation. So
And then
she,
he's just like,
so she made a
oh
big
my god.
show. She made a big show
Our
about Lee was definitely going to propose to Sui, and she's like, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna have so many babies. It's gonna be lovely. The two of you, specifically, just the two of you, and
Mhm.
taking a dig sort of at Ivan, and he just looks, he's very concerned about this. Um,
and then
and then And then at this point, Sui finds as she's leaving, she finds one of Sister Manchu's dolls. And we kind of discover that Miss Manchu had a sister. She did not at one point run this place by herself. Also in the hot spring, there is a bird cage up top that is holding one of the dolls. There's sort of these like there's small kind of plush dolls. I think I posted a picture somewhere. It's sort of these like kind of creepy-ish, plushy but kind of realistic looking dolls from the 1800s. Fun fact: in the 1800s, all dolls looked like they were going to kill you. So that's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I'm not skipping anything important, but then I think we get into. Do we get into the game yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Or
you know what?
just
Go ahead.
Hope we do.
Yeah.
After Tang Zhelan comes in. After Tang Zhelan comes in, it's just like, oh yeah, let's. And after Tang Zhelan comes in, and then Miss Manchu divulges a bit about her business, how she claims, oh yeah, my business goes first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. And it's just this is the point when the billiards game comes in, I believe.
This was before the billiards game.
Okay, this is before the billiards game. I'm trying to see if there's any other like really big. Do you guys remember any or see any big plot points?
I was asleep, mate.
It was only just the kiss, marry, kill. This was another.
Yeah.
This was the part where I was. This was the part where I was like, yep. I was just giggling because of, oh my god, Caesar is bachelor material.
I recall.
Oh yeah, they basically play a marry, fuck, kill with the rest of the guests, which it's fun. If you're in the Discord, you can read it. It's a fun little cute scene. It's mostly filler, but it's cute. So we get into quiet time, and I'm like, I keep thinking the game is up next, but let me see. So then,
from woman to woman, my heart fluttered a little when I had an interaction with him.
Oh boy.
I'm just like,
the sun rises on day 3 in the Red Ruby Inn. And what was the plan for the day? Oh yes. So Lan picks up a newspaper and opens the door and heading inside the inn, where she places it on the desk and looks at it. It says, "Woman asks why. A Russian woman pleads with the Mongolian government to investigate the disappearance of her husband, who went missing last year after visiting the famed Red Ruby Inn. What did you all think happened to said husband?"
dead.
Then he's just alive. He just wanted to escape the relationship. That's it.
Quite possibly.
Nothing to it. He wasn't devoured or anything.
No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
It's the 1800s. You had to be creative.
Let's see. Is this a flashback moment? A small Chinese in a suit. Oh yeah. So a reporter comes up to the inn and asks Ivan, "Do you work here? Can you comment on the disappearance of the Russian man at this establishment?" And Ivan, of course, who's the last person next to Charlotte who needs to hear from this kind of shit, he goes, "Wait, what?" He says, "Perhaps you've seen other disappearances or anything strange happening around the inn." Ivan looks at Sui. Sui's standing next to him. She's, of course, terrified of speaking. He wants to speak up, but he doesn't say anything. And he says, "Maybe I could come in, get a room here." And it is at this moment that Miss Manchu says, "That'll be all, sir. We're actually full up. Get the fuck up out of here, because we don't need that kind of press up in here." So he says, she says, "Thank you so much for your interest in the Red Ruby. We'll have vacancies sometime next year. Have a good day. Goodbye, sir." Closes the door, and she dismisses him as being a bunch of gossipers and nosy Nellies. She says, "It was the same when my dad ran this place. It's not a big deal. This happens all the time. No one should be upset or worried or confused or investigate any further." So everyone kind of wakes. What's up? Yep.
When we get to that game part, I am just going to rant for a solid 30 seconds as to why you chose the wrong version.
You know what? And we're here. We're actually here. I just found it. I'm going to post the link in chat, but I just found the moment where today was the game. Yes.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Go
here
ahead.
we go.
Oh,
So
you take it away, DBS.
You see, in billiards, all the balls are numbered. So you thought, well, what's an easy roll
Well-
system would be okay. Let's just play, games of five. Where
Well,
it's three different people.
set it up why we're doing this. What's happening
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm gonna keep branding. Oh yeah. So game room, right? Everyone goes to the game room.
Day 3. Everyone goes to the
Yeah.
game room. We've had a nice night of being naked in the hot spring. Go for it,
I think
DBS.
Charlotte woke up without anything on still.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Of course.
game room. Oh hey, Charlotte from this place. Snooker was invented by then. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, imagine
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
I'm sure I would have looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And then what happens is that, oh yeah, we can play either snooker or billiards.
Yep.
AK, we can either have the easy option, which might take only 100 messages,
Yep.
or the hard option.
So
I wonder which one got chosen.
so I
Yeah.
created an entire. So sometimes in the CV, I will create an entire game that is set up through the roles to for the players to play. And for this one, it was I didn't. So yes.
Did you think it through when you said D15?
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, the only way you can get the ball, the only way to get a pool ball into the netting is if you roll that exact number,
Mm-hmm.
which, mind you, is about a 7% chance.
Yep.
When in snooker, each ball has a point value, so you could theoretically say, okay, red ball, 1 or 2, you hit it, good, do it again. Oh,
Mhm.
yellow ball is worth 4 points. Okay, freaking roll a 4.
Mm-hmm.
There's kitten
If you
slander in the
roll a-
chat saying Fire never thinks things through. How dare?
Yeah,
How dare?
Guess what?
Untrue.
The
It's true,
hardest
though.
one would be a 20% chance.
Number 4. Man, if only Castellan lived this era.
Dear listener,
So, instead of there being a 20% chance at the worst thing, there was a 7.
dear listener, DBS is just mad because Charlotte definitely lost.
Cesar won this game.
Which
Cesar
yeah.
won the billiards game.
DBS is mad because Charlotte pretty much ate it hard, and Cesar got complete revenge for the
I started pre-predicting my rolls.
It's just like, Salamat sa Diyos, Cesar called out. And keep in mind, before the game, Cesar stated that he previously played billiards while he was studying in Spain, while he was in his university year. So it was just the last time he played billiards, it was with his college mates. So he was just like, it's just like, oh yeah, that was the thing. Apparently, that was the previous experience that he needed to win this game, and a little bit of a touch of God, divine intervention. He's clearly cheating. God is clearly assisting him. 14.
how did it?
Number?
So at the end of the billiards run,
Hang on.
Charlotte.
Hang
I mean,
on.
not Charlotte. Cesar won. How did it feel to? How did it feel to get revenge? You got revenge finally for your for the horse racing.
It wasn't. I didn't really intend for revenge. It's just more like for the Sabbath day. Cesar's mad for the second commandment again, and then it's just like, hang on a minute. Make him explode the table.
Amazing.
Just let the writers bring the damn game. I'm just like, can't the game just finish or what? I just had just let Caesar win, God. Number freaking 14. Let's go. Hang on. New number 9. Random. Yes. Don't know why we have dice in a freaking billiards game.
I'm back. I got lasagna just to make Fire mad because of the sin he committed.
Hang on a minute.
You'll never let it go.
Cesar. now he aimed for that, which was 5. Since I'm counting lesson, folks, just a 9, and then just aim for number 12, you holy man. And then it's just like 1. It says our time for number 9. Come on, this is getting ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Cesar, this is the part where it finally finishes. Cesar, time for 7. Time for 7. Sabbath day. Which reminded Cesar, was there a Catholic church in Mongolia? Hopefully. And then he gets the 7, which ends the game. And then Charlotte looks at Cesar. Can you teach me how to be Catholic? And then he just looks at Charlotte, the billiards table, and then Charlotte, and then Ivan, and is just like, my God, I still got it. He uttered in disbelief before he collapsed on the floor, fainting. Yeah, it was that intense for the poor man.
Oh,
poor
God.
guy.
Yeah, where was it? Just one part where Fire, you said freaking in parentheses, freaking accused to getting shoved into someone's eye and they die.
Not yet, but we're getting there. We're very close. So
I don't know where we are.
I just posted where we're gonna start from. So Alberto finally invites Miss Manchu into his room to probably play chess or Chinese checkers, probably something innocent. Chill.
Yeah. Alberto had fallen asleep in the game room. Basically after everyone, Charlotte, I think, brought Cesar to the hot springs. Just as Charlotte also went to the hot springs, and then Ivan also went to the hot springs. I still keep saying Ivan because it's the Russian pronunciation. I normally associate the name Ivan with the Russian pronunciation, which is Ivan. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So then I skipped way down.
You did.
I mean,
are you sure you want to start from there?
Did I skip anything important? I don't think I skipped anything important.
You kind of skipped the kidnapping.
Oh shit!
No.
Okay.
Oh my God, Fire.
This one.
Yes, I mean,
Yes.
Go through it. Go through, you two. Take us through it.
Yes.
How did we start this? How do we start this?
So it starts with Alberto had fallen asleep in the game room. As he realized he was alone, he left the room with a tear in his eye. Alberto went up to the stairs with his room, trying not to be seen. He had something else to do. To his luck, it seemed that his target still hadn't made a move until now, but they certainly will when they find the evidence he planted some time ago, the perfect bait for his prey. Yeah. And then
it was the pipe, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Cesar had made it back. This is the reply that I made. Cesar had made it back to the butterfly room, taking another book from his briefcase. Florante et Laura, yet another good read for his eyes. A story about a prince from Crotona and a princess of Albania getting together against all odds coming their way. Well, whether it was the Crusades or a jealous ex-classmate, they triumphed over all of them. Oh yeah, this book, Florante et Laura, it was, for context, this was also written in the 1800s, early 1830s-ish. And this was written by a guy while he was imprisoned under false pretenses.
Boy.
He was imprisoned under false pretenses, like the writer of the book, because he was unable to get together with the sweetheart whom he dedicated Florante et Laura to.
Mm.
So, the guy who imprisoned him, he basically made a character out of that guy and just said, "Screw you." Made the ultimate revenge by writing that book, making the guy who imprisoned this writer, Francisco Balagtas is the writer, by the way, making him the bad guy. And you want to know what he named the bad guy?
What?
Adolf.
Ah,
that's clever.
Clever,
Yeah,
very clever, very clever.
Conde Adolfo. Actually, he doesn't even realize that another man named Adolf would eventually be the most hated. But
Oh boy.
yeah, Francisco Balagtas did not consider that during that time. But
So
So
how do we get to the kidnapping part?
Good.
So he caught the center
I just
sun
want
thing.
I don't want to toot my own horn.
Strange, he didn't recall being a smoker. Cesar stood up from his mattress, starting over to his desk.
Planned.
He soon held the item up to his line of sight. It was a smoker's pipe. Saan galing to? Where did this come from? And then he waited peacefully, thinking of flowers and the gentle air from the flap of a butterfly's wings. Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Mounted the steps from the door to his room to the wolf in the center and back. back down in his chair, spilling with anticipation. Vieni, piccola farfalla. Vieni a tenerti nella boccia del lupo. So,
translating to Italian, it basically means let the butterfly come to the mouth of the wolf.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Cesar thought he had seen this. The next part, saw the pipe, and it's just like, Deveria devolvi esto es lo correcto. Cesar mumbled to himself, the rosary in his hand and his book were placed atop his desk. So he basically leaves his rosary behind, and then brings the pipe over, went down the hall, headed to the rightmost door in the floor, at the second floor. The pipe was still in his hand. He pushed up his glasses, knocked on it. Alberto answers, and it's just like, "Oh, Cesar, what takes you to my room? Actually, don't answer yet. Just please do come in." And Nick.
No option. It was great. This whole scene is just.
I believe this is
I'm
yours.
so happy.
I believe this is yours.
This is great. I love this.
So the way he held the pipe in is so gentle in his hold, an innocent-looking thing. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, what brilliance of mine! How could I have forgotten about my one and only pipe? So, could you please leave it on the end table there? The classic. Please leave it over there." Certainly. You wasted no time. Cesar it's just like, wasted no time, turned his back, placing a pipe. And you made me roll a d30, I got a 1, and it's just like, am I dead? Not now. Cesar like his room much better than Alberto's, and then Cesar makes a comment about it. It's just like, not meaning to offend, however, I personally like the aesthetic of my own room more than yours. Then hang on a minute.
Bonk.
Hang on a minute.
The swift bonk of a candle holder. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's just like candle holder, heavy candle holder. I just had one number lower than Nick's. It was all that was needed to knock him out.
I rolled a 3 and I thought, okay, I busted it.
It's some real clue shit up in here. Guests are bonking each other on the head with a candlestick in the library. It's very that kind of vibe.
I was like, I'll roll a 3. There's no way.
With all the
out of this. There's no way I can get out of this unscathed without Cesar noticing.
Yeah.
But Swift rolled a 2. So 1 point extra was enough for me for Alberto to how do you say it? Incapacitate. There you go. Incapacitate Cesar. And
then
lock him in his dresser.
It's just like, next, he felt the force come swiftly down, and then he just said, "Help me." He just said, "Ayúdame." Oh.
And Cesar was kidnapped. I love it.
And then Alberto actually whispered another something in Cesar's ear. "Farfallina, por favor, Norpan, piangere, zio lupo si prenderà cura di kill." I can't read Italian, shit.
Per favore, non bicchiere, zio lupo si prenderà cura di quel dolore per sempre.
Does anyone else think it's extremely hot that Nick can read Latin? That was really hot. I really enjoyed that.
It's a Romance language. I speak Portuguese. It's basically the same.
Yeah, it's a Romance language. So what's the translation
my
of this
heritage again? Just slapped me in the face.
That was great.
Right there. No, it just basically means that don't worry, little butterfly. The wolf is gonna take your pain away forever.
I didn't realize how much I loved Alberto. I want to go back and can I re-nominate him?
It was low-key genius.
It was low-key genius. So
like Cesar was the butterfly.
So did we say
butterfly?
Where did Cesar get stuffed?
In the closet.
In the closet.
He locked the doors.
In the closet.
So
the closet door won't close.
So can we move on? Is this is a good stopping place for this one?
Yep.
Good. Okay, good. So next what happened was a very interesting, and this is where we get a little supernatural, is that Krishna is chilling in her room, and she wakes up and there's a doll on her face.
Yeah.
and
Scream.
and she screams because that's scary. Because either someone put it there or that doll moved by itself, and that is scary. So she screams, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?" And I don't think anyone does anything about it. I think everyone's just like, "That sounded crazy." Um, so we get up the next morning, and the brunch happens. Everyone comes down sort of for breakfast, and Miss Manchu asks, "Where's Cesar? What happened to annoying religious guy?" Um, and everyone's like, "Oh, we haven't seen him. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I haven't seen Alberto either. What's going on? No, everything is fine." Um, and so that's fine. Sui also cuts her hair, which is amazing. And because I rolled so low, Miss Manchu doesn't notice because she doesn't give a fuck about her waitstaff. Yeah. Um, so then she says, "You, Sui, go outside and go check on the horses. Just, feed them or whatever the fuck. Get out of my sight." And what does she find is missing is old Jessie,
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte's horse, who basically Charlotte's only instructions were, if anything happens to this horse, I'm going to kill you. So that's great. So Sui is freaking out. She's really upset and scared, and so basically, Charlotte comes over to Miss Manchu. Says, "Miss Manchu, I'm not hungry, but I'm a little pissed. I'm going back to my room."
Yeah.
Miss Manchu says, "Is there anything the matter? Can I help?" Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then Charlotte says, "If you could follow me to a separate room, then yes. If you can't, then no." I hate Charlotte. I hate
Oh,
Charlotte. God, I hate Charlotte.
okay, now I kind of see where we are. I have
Yes.
to scroll up. I accidentally went all the way to the bottom.
I hate Charlotte. So Miss
Mm-hmm.
Manchu says, "Lead the way." Charlotte goes up to her room, looking out the window. "I need to get something off my chest, certainly. It might get a little bit noisy if you don't mind."
Uh-huh.
And then Miss Manchu closes the door. "I need to get something off my chest." Ready? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
She's. Can you? I'm sorry, Jesse. Can you read? Can you just
Yes.
read this
Go, Jesse.
paragraph?
Yeah, prepare my throat.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see not caring her voice died after this. So I have to know what I have to do. Why does everyone think I'm cursed by a devil? Everyone shrugs me off. Just because my youthful looks, they call me the daughter of frickin' Selkie. And I'm sick of it. No one cares. Everyone hates me. There are knocks on the door about to bang their dance when I open it. Offspring's being tampered with. Wearing my 500 cards to take out that dang mask. Now the person who welcomed me as who I was is now missing. Why does everyone go wrong with me? What is wrong with me?
Yeah,
I
Charlotte is
Mm-hmm.
wild. Charlotte is just wild.
have a headache.
She's
Yeah.
just wild.
Oh God, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can read the rest if you like, while I find our next major scene.
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh,
more of her monologue.
love. Oh really? Say it straight to my face then! Say it straight to my face! No, say it! No, say this for the time! Give up my attention, to people!
So what was the
Something is
backstory?
really wrong with me!
What was the backstory of this? So what inspired her rant about people being upset with her? It was her
What's sick I
mask.
have with just...
I think it was her mask. I think someone was asking about her mask, and she got very sensitive about it very quickly.
Blame
It
her
was
because the reason why she wears a mask was because people said her beauty was unnatural because she was so, youthful in nature and such a baby face. They thought she was born of a Selkie.
Yep.
basically supernatural. It's a curse.
Mm-hmm.
Cursed
It's
being.
Selkie, which a Selkie in, Celtic and North mythology, which makes sense, are, mythological kind of sea folk, changing from seal to human form by shedding their skin. Originating in the Northern Isles of Scotland.
Leia's here, by the way, and said, "I understood nothing Jesse said."
Yeah.
And that's fair because that's how Charlotte probably would have said it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I read killed the voice, and I have to kill my voice.
yep,
Mhm.
yep.
I'm terribly sorry, but tomorrow I got
Mhm.
work.
Go to
Yeah.
bed, Nick.
Well,
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Go
today I got work.
go to
So
bed, Nick. Go to
Sleep.
sleep.
Mhm.
good night.
Good
See
night,
y'all.
Nick. Um, don't worry, we'll do these podcasts earlier later on. So basically, oh yeah, and simultaneously while everyone's having breakfast, poor Cesar is in a closet, which is not where you want to be.
Yeah.
What
It's
is
just like
happening with him?
he's just well, while he's still in the closet, there was actually a dream sequence that I wrote. He was he's actually speaking to his cousin Alejandro. So, Cesar, mi primo, it's good to see you again, Alejandro. But of course, honestly, I've been away so many times, I'm sure you will forget by the time you even set foot back here. Lo siento, it's just the drive to see the world takes me places. Ay, basta, at least you're here now. A little boy slowly approached behind Alejandro, skin a bit tan, dressed in a suit for his age, his eyes a vibrant ruby red. Papa, Carlos, say hi to your Tio Cesar. He came with gifts. Carlos only shrunk behind Alejandro, his ruby red eyes shaking in fear. Cesar only kneeled and tried to reach out for him. Carlos. The boy shrunk away a bit more. Alejandro looked back to Cesar with an apologetic smile. I guess he's not in the mood to speak. But it's alright. How's about we talk for a while? And just for context, like, even though it's just a dream, like, it was just an unconscious memory sequence that Cesar had, like, in the real world, Carlos actually has those red eyes. And the reasons for that are out of context story shit that I have made for my OC verse. So
Of course, of
yeah,
course.
like in order for you to get the full story, you either have to like Jesse knows the full story anyway. I divulge much of it to him. So so
So
yeah.
so
My voice is just gonna be dead.
so as we go to the next big story beat, which is when Charlotte turns shit up, and this is one of my favorite CV moments of all time because we did not expect for the action to escalate this fast. But
Hmm.
on day 4, basically, after Charlotte's kind of unhinged rant,
And then Miss Manchu.
Miss Manchu essentially is like, everything's fine, let's go downstairs. And Charlotte is kind of sick of the shit. And she's like, I'm tired of you dodging questions. Um, she,
And
I'm,
freaking
I'm upset with the fact that like, fuck, you're not telling me what's going on with Lee. Clearly, Lee's not well, which is funny coming from her. Um, and
also, we are just confirming that Alberto and Miss Manchu are in bed.
yes,
Hmm.
Alberto's not here. You're not telling me questions. Um, Charlotte is apparently like grabbing Miss Manchu, um,
And Miss
and
And it's
Manchu's
just
head.
like
also
I
Lee is
think.
having a moment in the like alone in the buffet, talking
Hmm.
to himself, having a full on Joker moment, Joaquin Phoenix Joker moment of like, you fucked it up, you fuck up. Everyone's losing their shit. It was funny as Fire Demon. I was like, oh my god, everyone I think is like, think the tensions are rising so fast. I just couldn't believe.
The,
I was like, okay,
the
we're
mere fact that the mere fact that Charlotte was just like, yep, Cesar was either kidnapped or murdered.
yep,
Eh.
because yeah, Charlotte wanted answers about Cesar, and no one was telling her anything.
I mean,
Um,
what else could have happened if you're stuck in a hotel?
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and it's just like a locked room mystery, except there wasn't exactly much of a mystery because dramatic irony intensifies.
I gotta say though, DBS, I think you played this so brilliantly. The way you basically were just like asking a bunch of questions, because I love when a character like just turns up the drama to 100. That's always my favorite. I love a fire starter. I love that. So I was like, just
No,
as when I was seeing you do this, I was like, yes, okay, I love this. So I was like, wow, it
yeah,
escalated fast, but
you and I are very good at making the drama rise up.
yep,
Hmm.
it's great. It was great. Um, and like Charlotte was also like not having the fact that Lee wasn't being honest about you love Firestar because you are a fire. That is true.
Um, but
Hmm.
But so Charlotte is like, Lee, why aren't you telling the truth about why you want to kill Miss Manchu, um, and um, Miss Manchu is like trying so hard to cover for everyone and make sure everything's fine. The hotel's fine. No need to be upset.
Oh, oh
Um,
boy.
and then finally, this is my other part that I love. This is the part that really sets shit off. Is that Ivan finds out from Sui that Charlotte's horse is gone, and then she expresses that out loud.
uh,
Ivan let out a sigh as he came in, thinking about it. Miss Charlotte, horse, she's gone. We found a bloodstain in her stall and a doll. So once again, the
Oof.
dolls are coming through. We're not sure what's happening with them. Um, so Miss Manchu stops dead in her tracks and looks at Charlotte with the news. Um, Charlotte says, "Remember what I said about bullshitting me, Snake?" And then
Mm-hmm.
Miss Manchu's like, "Are you sure? Please check everywhere. This hoe crazy. Please don't. Please, I'm begging you." Um, so he says, "Yes, I'm sorry, Miss Charlotte. I couldn't find her, not yet, at least." No, as
Like,
soon
while
as
shit was going down, like downstairs, Alberto just woke up Cesar as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
the one
these.
shred of mental sanity that Charlotte had left was connected to that horse.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there were two threads of mental sanity: Cesar and Cesar and her dear horse.
One was kidnapped and was going to die, the other was already dead.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to said horse? Well, we'll get into it. So Ivan. So Miss Manchu tries to turn the tables on Ivan, being like, "What are you and Sui doing out there? What are you guys doing alone? Let's not talk about the horse. Let's talk about how you're trying
A
to fucking.
horse!
Why aren't you trying to fucking groom my servant?"
My
Um,
Mhm.
horse!
and there's this weird like I mean we'll have to ask Void about it, but
Huh?
it's just this weird triangle because Lee starts to develop a very big fixation on Sui, and Ivan wants to like save Sui, so Lee gets upset with Ivan and also kind of Sui. Lee loses it. Everyone's losing it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it feels weird. So much has happened yet in through it's only been, just real life, it's only been 11 days.
Yeah, 11 days.
Mhm.
Boy, back when the CVs were short, huh?
This
So
one went the full month. I'm pretty sure everyone had died 5 times over.
yeah, oh yeah. So basically, Miss Manchu flat out asks, "Are you sleeping with my servant, Mister Ivan?"
Mhm.
This says love triangle, more like losing a triangle. She says, "Are you sleeping with Mister Ivan? Really? Would you sink that low?" And Ivan yells, "What is wrong with you, Miss Manchu? She's a little girl. Why would I do such a thing to her?" And then Miss Manchu says, "How dare you speak to me like that? You're a guest in my house."
Your house, the one for serving wants to kill you?
Everyone is
Yeah.
yelling. I
Well,
fucking
while
love
all
it.
of that was going down, like Soph's character was probably just resting in her room, and then Krishna was also resting in her room, and then Cesar is just
Time
also
zones.
still
Mhm.
being held hostage by Alberto. It's just like, after I get anything I need, you'll be buried along with the memories of your loved ones.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then
Yes.
Alberto just muffles Cesar and just like, you make a sound and I'll slit your vocal cords so you may never speak again. Understood, little butterfly? Uh,
Oh.
boy.
The
So
animal rooms just worked so perfectly.
I know the animal rooms are so good. So Ivan is everyone starts kind of turning on Miss Manchu, especially Ivan and
Oh,
Charlotte. You're not showing
Mhm.
much hospitality to your guests, Miss Manchu. Oh yeah, because Miss Manchu finally drops the act and is like, because Sui says that Miss Manchu's lost her mind, and Miss Manchu goes, "How dare you speak to me, you wench!" And then everyone is like, "Hey, hey, hey, why are you doing that? Let that girl alone." Um, and Sui finally finds her backbone and starts, standing up for herself. Poor thing. Um, and then Miss Manchu is totally backed into a corner. Leia says this energy is worse than the fox.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, yeah. This is pretty toxic energy. It's pretty
it's
wild.
just this is just chaotic
It
evil,
is
and
very
everyone's
it's
dealing
Mhm.
with it.
very chaotic. So Miss Manchu is just like throwing around accusations, that's basically kind of saying that Sui's a whore. Um, Basically insinuating that Sui is like trying to get with Ivan and also trying to carry on a relationship with Lee, which in the 1800s, being a whore was terrible.
It's just this.
And so Charlotte grabs Miss Manchu. It gets physical, and Miss Manchu's like, "Let go of me." And Ivan and Charlotte like work together, I guess, to like try to subdue Miss Manchu physically, and then Miss Manchu starts accusing.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
Is that what we're gonna call this?
You know what? That's what I'm calling it. Absolutely, Miss Manchu deserves better. How dare you? Oh my gosh, DVS just posted the gif of The Office where everyone is finger gunning each other, and that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it
The
is.
Mexican standoff
The
of
Mexican standoff.
accusations.
Yeah. And so Miss Manchu starts saying like, "Why didn't maybe Charlotte killed Cesar? We don't know." Yeah, it's basically that.
You know, how do I?
Yeah, basically what Leia just posted, the Spider-Man meme, but 5 of them or 7 of them.
We need
It was
about
just like,
500.
Thank you.
mhm.
How did you feel?
rolled a 2 and you rolled.
How did you feel about
Yeah.
this scene, by the way, DBS?
Loved it.
Oh, this is great.
I think this is the moment I realized how much chaos we can do together in RP.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and everyone was working together. It was so great.
Honestly, Charlotte and Miss Manchu just remind me of Trevor and Michael from GTA 5.
Oh yeah, basically. So then it
Mhm.
escalates to Miss Manchu headbutting Charlotte.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Charlotte gets a knock to the face.
Our roles were just so even.
So
Yeah.
the best I've ever rolled. This is the best Mike a CV character for me has ever rolled, hands down.
Best for me as well.
So everyone is like deeply upset. And I just love how there's so much shit going on. Like everyone had their own little like story happening, and everyone's story was like imploding.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking scary.
Also, let's not forget Charlotte actually tried to cut out Miss Manchu's tongue.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. And so they start punching each other. Charlotte and Miss Manchu start full on physically fighting.
It's
Yeah.
just a cage fight.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, and then
Me too,
like
Charlotte.
everyone
Me too,
else was
Leia.
just like Tang Zhelan actually, Soph's character actually like went down and saw like Sui and Ivan just moving away or whatever, and then she's just like, "What's going on?" And then Alberto also, Lee actually went over to see Alberto, and it's just like, "What's going on?" And then Alberto and I think Lee was asking, "Yeah, can you help me please, because you were the only one who doesn't have a death wish for me." And then Alberto's just like, "What's going on?" What's going on? And then Alberto hears like everything that's happening downstairs, and so he checks it out, and then he decides to feign ignorance by saying, "Oh, have you seen Cesar as well? I hope he's doing fine. The poor Catholic man. I pray that nothing bad happens to him." And then he's just like, the dramatic irony of that statement. Just the fact that Cesar, throughout the entire thing, Cesar is just out of the action just because he's like stuffed in the closet. And while in the closet, though, he actually heard voices saying, "Are you scared? Are you scared now?" Like he felt something crawling up his leg. Just saying,
Oh,
you made me roll like.
That's right. Talk about that. Does that already happen yet? Is that what's happening right now?
It happened around the same time that Charlotte and Miss Manchu were doing like their melee.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So he was just
Like right at the beginning of the melee, Alberto is just villain monologuing to Cesar.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I saw that. Oh yeah, Charlotte went to attempts to grab Miss Manchu's tongue as she spoke. That is oddly creative.
So so after the big old fight, Ivan, Charlotte, and Sui actually subdue Miss Manchu and have her submitted on the ground. and Miss Manchu's basically like, "Get out of my hotel! I'll call the authorities." And they're like, "Do you think you have a case? Like, they're gonna you
Wake
you
up,
you
wake up,
crazy."
Durst. I'm Miss Receipts.
Um,
I
so
have a lot of receipts for this shit. So
so Ivan and Sui are basically like, "We got it. Well, let's get out of here. We're going. We're getting out of here." And once they get out, they are a little surprised by the topography has changed a little bit in the hotel. And
lots of water.
as
There's some water.
yep. So as Sui and Ivan walk out, hopefully to escape this horrible place, they see what was the normal grounds of the hotel has now been completely leveled into a moat filled with water that is 50 meters long around all sides. They're completely surrounded by hot water. So it turns out that hot spring is a little bit bigger than we originally thought. It's pretty much underneath the entire hotel. So
Cool.
there's a giant pool surrounding, which is a great way, as for me as a writer, to make sure you all don't escape. Although no one tried. I thought someone was going to try, and no one did try.
So
No one tried precisely because there were in-story justifications as to why they
Yeah.
wouldn't escape.
That is fair. That is fair.
I feel like how Charlotte and Manchu aren't even done yet.
Nope. So
There's
Manchu
an
and Charlotte
entire round two.
face off, and they start to fight again. And at some point, I believe Miss Manchu gets up and gets away and runs off to her quarters. If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And this is when Caesar feels something crawling up on his leg, and whatever's crawling in his leg has now become crawling up the wall. That part freaked me out, and I wrote it. Oh God! Ugh, the fact. Just imagine being in the dark and something is like it's not bug-like. It's like something with hands is crawling up your leg, and it is small. It's just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, so you could just imagine like the amount of prayers that Caesar had just for that single moment. He's just like, Santa Rita de Cascia, please help me.
Yep. So Miss Manchu finally gets away, and she gets chased, but gets into her office and locks the door. And I think does everyone go back to they all go up to Charlotte's room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yep. Oh, this is when it begins. So everyone goes into Charlotte's room. I guess you guys were planning to leave. Is that what was happening? I think everyone was
planning to leave. Actually, I think it was also the part where they were trying to find Cesar as well. They were just.
Oh right, yeah.
I think it was they're going to try and find Caesar in them bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk. Do you remember this? Talk me through how everyone was chilling in the room. When did things turn? Because everyone gathers in the room.
Didn't the electricity go out?
Yes, I believe. I'm trying to remember if it went out or if it was turned off.
It must have been nighttime as well because everything was pitch black.
Well, what was also happening?
Pitch black, and there was a thunderstorm.
Yes. So what was happening also simultaneously was that Lee was having a little bit of a private moment to himself, where he thought a bit. Killing Ivan would make him even more suspicious. He had nothing to do with the deaths, and yet he was being the death of the horse, and yet he was being blamed. And so, a almost cartoon voice of a young boy says, "Don't let them do that to you." And Lee says, "What? Who said that?" "They all laugh at you behind your back. Don't let them do that to you. You deserve to be with Sui, not Ivan." And then he says, "I do. He deserves nothing," he mutters. "He deserves nothing." And then it's time to show him how little he deserves. And then Lee says, "How will I do this?" He tilts his head where the god's speaking to him. And then the cartoon voice says, "The knife at the lobby on the table for the meat," which is so fucking creepy. And then Lee asks, "What do I call you?" And the voice says, "Your friend."
Yeah.
Oh boy. So Lee has lost it officially. It says, "Punt kick it to the sun, Lee." Oh no. Lee does not punt
Oh
kick into
boy.
the sun. Lee punt kicks something else. And
Mhm.
so yes, the lights go out in Charlotte's room. Um,
Uh-huh.
and Lee decides to grab that knife.
I do regret Charlotte not just yeeting the doll out the window.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. We go into probably exactly the shortest quiet time. It only lasted about 10 messages, and it's just Manchu in the office. She hurries into her room and closes the door. She catches a glimpse of herself in the mirror and see how bloodied she'd become. She can't look for much longer. She opens the hatch in her floor and climbs in, closing the hatch behind her. Climbing down, she gets to the bottom of the bunker-looking room with tunnels and a casket against the wall. I'm sorry, sister. I am truly sorry. She breaks down, falling to her knees. I know, I understand. Yes. Did you all
Mhm.
understand that she was keeping her dead sister underneath the hotel? I guess that was pretty obvious.
Oof.
So nasty. That's really unsanitary. If you leave dead bodies in places, they will rot, and that really creates fungi in the atmosphere. If
Mhm.
any of our listeners were thinking of keeping dead bodies in their house, um, so
Don't the smell.
don't. It's not good. You'll get sick.
Oh.
So Lee is kind of stalking around the hotel with the knife. It's pitch black, and Krishna wakes up again. Our old friend Krishna, who shows up every now and again, and
Yep.
she slips into her shoes and see what's going on, and she knocks on the Viper room, hoping that she could get an answer. And as Lee heads upstairs, the voice says, "Start with that one," pointing to
Oh my
Krishna. "You
god.
need practice." Um, and Lee says, "Yes, ma'am." And may you says, "May you come up here? May you come here? I need to ask you something." Krishna heard a voice and turned to see Lee. "Oh, hello there. What seems to be the matter?" Oh, poor Krishna. Poor Krishna. Oh my God, Leia just posted the creepiest doll, and you know what? That's it. That's the
Mhm.
one.
Oh
That's
god,
Lee's
the
friend.
octopus doll.
Um,
The doll.
I know
uh,
exactly what that doll is.
Lee begins to approach her. What color is? What is a better color for our outfits? Black with a bit of red, or just purely red? Lee smiles.
Wonder what that means.
Oh God! Oh
Wonder
my
what
God!
that would mean.
Oh my God! Oh, Leah, I wish you were in this one. Lee is being quite formal. Krishna finds his question a bit odd, but slowly begins to back away from the male. "Whatever do you mean?" Lee says, "Just asking. Wouldn't it be nice to have a change of uniform?" God, I love Shadow for this. God, I fucking love.
It
Honestly,
was so good.
can I tell y'all?
Mhm.
I voted for Shadow. I voted for Lee to win. Oh wait, did Lee actually make it in Shadows? I think Lee did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
Lee did.
so.
I think I voted for Lee because I love Lee so much. So good. I don't actually. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember.
I guess you can say it's lovely.
I don't
Mhm.
remember that. Can I just tell you that
I got that pun.
best RP character was the hardest thing to vote for, and I don't remember actually who I voted for. I feel like it might have been Lee, but I don't remember. I'll have to look.
Mhm.
I've slept too many times since then. Um, well, shouldn't you ask your colleagues? Lan seems like a nice person, or even you could ask Miss Manchu too. Shouldn't I ask the guests? Says Lee. They're the ones that will see the outfits too, and soon they'll be the ones painting them. He mutters the last bit. Well, even if we're the ones who see them, uniforms are to maintain work ethics. Come here for 1 second. Lee smiles and continues to approach her. Lee is backing Krishna down the hall of rooms. Krishna
Mhm.
turns her head behind her for a quick moment before turning to head back and walking her way to the stairs. "I think I prefer the distance, thank you very much." Which, by the way, I'm going to start saying that in my real life from now on. I think I prefer the distance, thank you very much. Um, Lee begins to speed up, but being closer would be better. Can you imagine if someone just went up to you and said, "Being closer would be better"? That's so fucking
uh,
scary. Um, he smiles. Uh, so does Krishna. "I'm sorry, sir, but you should maintain a clear distance for your guests for the sake of your work ethic." And then Kiara wrote out of character, "Fuckity," which I love. Fuckity. Lee blocks Krishna's path at the top of the stairs. Lee can feel rumblings under the foundations of the hotel. Oh, Lane can feel the rumblings of the foundation of the hotel. Very clearly, something is underneath her and the house. So that's for later. Lee continues to approach Krishna. "Lady, please come here." Krishna it's so fucking creepy. Krishna swiftly backs away from him. I'm comfortable here. Then let me approach you. Lee smiles and begins to run at her. Absolutely not. It's my favorite
Oh my
line.
god.
Absolutely not. Thankfully, she was in her nightgown, so she booked it, running as far away as she could. Um, after explained to them how the hotel looks, um, Krishna sprints towards the right end of the hall. Krishna tries her hardest to get away from Lee, but isn't fast enough, and he mounts her on the ground and repeatedly stabs her until she is a bloodied mess on the floor. And we have our very first casualty.
Oh.
The
The first of many in this
The
thread.
first of many.
Well, the first casualty was actually the horse, but then someone apparently forgot about that, so...
Rest in peace, horse.
Rest in peace, horse. And then the voice tells Lee, "Excellent, you're so good at this. Stab her over and over and over." Lee nods, "Yes, my friend. Now take the body to the water in the front and dump it there. That would make me so happy." Freaking dolls.
Is that the voice there? I'm just gonna say it outright. Like, that's most likely Miss Manchu's sister, isn't it?
I was about to ask, do you all think this is coming from Lee's head, or do you think this is an actual voice?
Actual voice. Also, what's convenient is also Shy rolled a 2, so he heard none of it.
Yeah, heard nothing. Heard absolutely nothing.
And I think it was also around this time that Caesar tries to break free, or it probably came in a bit later.
I think it's a little.
But right now, almost everybody was just up at the second floor. Things were going down.
Krishna tried her best to fight back the murderous glint in his eye, but to no avail. She realized this was the end for her. She cursed herself for even stepping out of her room at all, unknowing of what was about to happen. But in all sense, dying this way was better than dying of a mental issue. She wasn't happy about how she died, but looking back, she had a happy life. She let go of her life soon enough, ready to meet her little brother in heaven. And that was her, our first casualty. Was a murder. I think that was our first. Oh no, it wasn't our first player kill because the vines. Shout out to Nick. Then Lee nods. Who shall I go for next? Lan clearly sees Lee dragging Krishna's dead body down the stairs. Just thump, thump, thump. As her body gets dragged down, the doll she was holding gets left behind in a trail of blood. And Lan looks up and sees Lee dragging a body. None other than, oh God, she covers her mouth. She felt sick. She tried to back off. Lee tries his best to get a sad face. "I found her dead in her room." He forced tears. Lan is silent at first. "How could you? You were such an innocent boy." And now she is at a loss of what to say. How could he do such a thing? Lan is not buying the lie at all. "They told me to do it." Lee has a smile on his face. "They told me to prove that we matter." So Lan is trying to talk to Lee and trying to, I guess, reason with Lee. I don't know.
Lan. Just saying, Lan should have poked Lee with the tree branch when she had the chance, or poked Miss Manchu.
Yeah.
Either of the two, they would have been more viable.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities. A CV classic.
Oh gosh. Oh boy. Oh gosh. So eventually, by the end of the conversation, Lan decides, "You're dangerously. You already killed someone. Lord knows how long it may be till you kill someone again." Well, it turns out it wouldn't be that much longer. I can't wait to go on from here. I thought that Lan was going to stop Lee, but she just watched Lee leave and decided to go to Krishna's body and pick it up, heading outside of the room where the others were. And at the top of the stairs, the doll that Krishna left behind is looking directly at Lan. It's just a doll. Move along. Miss Manchu, Charlotte, anyone? The lights go off all at once at the Red Ruby Inn, and everyone is left completely in the dark. Oh, shit.
Yep.
A distorted little girl's voice says, "I told you not to interfere." And Lan says, "Shut up. You could have lived. We were fighting for you. Put the body in the water. Put the body in the water." So Lan looks down at the body, and she goes outside and goes to the water. And when she puts her body in the water, Krishna's body lays in the moat for a few moments before something that can only be described as an overgrown husk of a body surfaces for a moment, pulling Krishna down. What did you all think of
Yep.
that?
That was the slug. Yep.
The fucking
Yeah.
slug. The fucking slug.
So,
mhm.
and going by the context, oh yeah, that was probably Miss Manchu's sister becoming a slug.
Quite possibly.
Or it could have just been a radioactive slug.
Could have been.
Ugh.
Could have been.
Do you think radioactivity even existed in the 1800s, considering Marie Curie? Where was Marie Curie even alive during that time?
Before then, I think. Nah, I don't know. I actually don't know.
It's what trade of CVs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Anything can happen.
21XX can take place during the American Revolution.
That's true.
Mhm.
So after a short quiet time, we get back to an action time, and the entire hotel is surrounded in darkness as it begins to thunder and lightning, and everyone seems to be crowded.
Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening.
And Charlotte is sitting in the. I think everyone's in Charlotte's room at this point. Is that true?
Almost
think
everyone.
So, because Charlotte have brought her up and
Yeah.
brought everyone up and just said, "Hey, let's go look for these two. Let's go kill one of them. Let's book it,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
or let's swim."
Yeah.
Lee is kind of stalking the area and heads back upstairs, as the voice, of course, is telling him to do. Is this where? Let me see. She gives one last bash, doesn't soft tone, brings his patches here. Oh wait, the dolls. Hang on, we got to get into the dolls, honey. The dolls, honey. The dolls. So I think it's the hotel in darkness. Friend who's next. They're up. Oh yes, the voice tells Lee that they are upstairs. So basically saying that the rest of the guests are upstairs to go kill. And says they're still walking in the closet. Sui took a second.
Yeah.
Took a second to take the bow from her dirty outfit that was in the pocket before placing it on the doll, then going back to Ivan. I'm trying to see where the doll turns its head and looks at the foursome. How about put your body in the water, you stupid doll?
Yeah.
There's no God here. Ha ha ha. Is good or bad? The door opens to Charlotte's. Oh my God! This is the part. So the door to Charlotte's room creaks open in the dark. Charlotte says, "What was that?" Ivan shuddered as he turned to the door creaking open, holding onto Sui's hand for safety. So who's in the room? Is it Charlotte, Ivan, Sui? Is that what it is?
Charlotte, Ivan, Sui, and I think Tanjalan was also in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Tan was in there. Yeah. Tan was in there. Lightning, the doll in Charlotte's room disappears. So there's a doll in every room, and they seem to be disappearing as people were noticing them. So it seems like the dolls are coming to life, which is frightening. And Sui has noticed that the doll has disappeared, and she is nervous and scared. So everyone decides that we should go. Everyone should get out. But when Lee, I think when the lightning flashes, and I think when Lee is visible, Lee's kind of covered in blood, essentially, though it's kind of dried a bit. And is this when they start moving? Let me see. Let me get to where Lee goes to the Viper room and knocks. Miss Charlotte was alone there, right? Why would anyone else be in there with her? Lee.
I created the cheesiest line. If there's no God here, don't bring these spirits.
Oh gosh, Lee runs smack into Charlotte, Sui, Ivan, and Tang. Ouch, she muttered, not knowing who it was. Ivan backed up slowly, backing into Lee, not noticing who it was immediately. Charlotte stood her ground, unknowing of what smacked into her. Very Charlotte. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Lee chuckles. I was looking for Lan. I thought she might be in one of the rooms. Whoever is there, are you okay? Charlotte notices Lee's voice. Snake. And we're in the Viper room. Very good. Very good, DBS.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was wrong, but she didn't do anything but a soft gas. It's too dark to see anyone's face or clothes. Ivan blinked slightly, hearing Lee chuckle before he concerned expression. Lee, was that you? Yes, I was looking for Lan. I needed to ask her something. Sui's getting nervous. She knows some shit's going down. Um, uh, Tang was very confused. Why don't you go check on Tang Li? Okay. Flashbacks. Soph likes to do a flashback. Um, Sui was breathing quietly, not sure what to do. So basically, everyone is in this room and it's in the dark. Um,
Yeah.
but what eventually happens is Sui knew something was up. His demeanor was calm in a psychopathic way. She didn't trust him. Leah says Lee, Shiko, and Paul would make great friends. Yes, we need to make a top 5 psychos of the CV.
Top 5 psychos.
Let's see. So Sui's mind was racing with 12 different things on her mind. What if he had the knife? What if he was with someone? What if he wanted to hurt them? So then I'm trying to get to where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think did you all try to leave? And then Sue rubs Ivan's wrist. I'm trying to see where it started making y'all roll.
Yeah. I had a
Yeah.
plan going into this.
Oh, what is the plan? Tell me what the plan was while I figure
What
out.
was the plan?
So here it says Charlotte thought about what her next move would be as she was a few strides away from the others. So she separated herself willingly.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh shit.
Like, you'll figure out that goal soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is a great opportunity to make both of you talk because you guys can go back and forth because um, there was 2 action scenes that you each were a part of. So um, go for it.
Oh boy. So simultaneously
Yep.
around
Yes.
that's
Yeah, it was happening the same
so
moments.
oh yeah. So around that same time that Charlotte and company were facing off against a 16-year-old incel with a propensity to murder and stab people for absolutely no reason other than to win the heart of a girl who doesn't even like him as a who doesn't even like him romantically speaking. Cesar was in the closet. He suddenly wakes up and realizes, oh yeah, I can't just be an idle rich guy for long and be a guy in distress. I must save myself. What am I thinking? And then he just decides to try and break himself out of the closet because apparently Alberto really kept the closet secure. He's just barging in with his legs. He's just trying to kick it down. I think I had to roll like a few times before it was finally successful. Finally successful, and then he stumbles out. He's just like, ow. And then he checks. He double checks whether he made any noise. So pretty much he's just like
and
and then
yeah, what happened next? Oh, I guess simultaneously in the Viper room.
Yeah. So currently it would be, I believe, 3 people all holding hands together, and Charlotte, who is only a few feet away, but in pitch black, that is about 50 miles.
Yep. And this is when
So,
Charlotte is. Oh yeah. So Charlotte tries to break out, and everyone's kind of trying to find each other in the dark. That was
and
this
then
part.
and then Suey finds the door when everyone was together.
Yes. Vel rolls very well and finds the door.
Same with Void.
yep.
Yep. Ivan finds the door as well. Oh right, because we have the big swimming scene. I
Yeah.
love that scene.
And Tang was just vibing with the other two.
Yeah, it was like
Yep.
Tang and Charlotte were stuck in
And
Charlotte's room.
then I
Yeah.
rolled a 9.
Oof.
And Soph rolls an 8.
Yeah.
Then when Charlotte's like, okay, the others most likely have found safety, so here's my chance to bolt.
Hmm.
Which didn't.
But what
Or they
happened?
tried to.
That's what.
What would you roll later on?
What? A 21?
And then after that,
No comment.
Was it a 1? I forgot.
yeah. So eventually, I
Yes.
think what happened was uh, at this point, Sui and Ivan found their way out of the dark room, but Tang, Charlotte, and Lee were still in there. So Lee was like trying to find everyone, and Charlotte
And,
and Tang couldn't find the door.
and then I roll a 1. Soph rolls a 5. Trevor rolls a 13. The
Yeah,
unlucky number.
lucky for him.
Yeah. And Lee very much finds Charlotte with his knife.
Yeah.
And then Tang can't seem to find Charlotte anymore, but hears something happen in the room. Tang's heart sank. Come on. Oh my god, this scene is heartbreaking. Tang trips over a body on the ground and falls. Tang turns around, unsure where the sound is coming from. Realizing that Charlotte was in danger, Tang looked back to the door and felt herself trip. Right before her eyes, she saw Charlotte, the body. Charlotte! Tang screamed. And now, Lee knows exactly where Tang is. Because Tang screamed. And Lee removed his knife from Miss Charlotte and then goes over to Tang.
Also, Charlotte's death message.
Oh, do we skip Charlotte's? I was gonna go over their deaths in after the snipe.
We're almost there.
Oh yeah, we're almost there. Okay.
Because technically Charlotte wasn't dead just yet.
Yes. So
thank you for letting me have that creative freedom.
Lee lunges at Tang and is now wrestling with her. Charlotte felt herself being stabbed, grasping at her wound as the knife left her body. Tang attempts to kick Lee off, knowing she can't put off much of a fighting stance. But eventually, Shadow rolls a 9 and Soph rolls a 1. Tang's attempts to kick Lee were close, but she was too panicked. Lee practically falls with his knife extended outwards, going deep into her chest. Lee has now killed 3 people. Is Lee the cryptid? It sure sounds like it at the moment. Honestly, that's what we kept joking. We were like, Lee's honestly the real cryptid.
He's the real villain.
And he finishes by saying, I got you. Do you want to read Charlotte's death message?
With the little tilde as well. Yep. So Charlotte was bleeding out and dying from her being stabbed. She took off her mask with one hand as the other hand was covering her wound. She coughed out a lot of blood, but her face was happy. Even if she didn't believe in the afterlife, she died knowing she attempted to make a difference. That she wasn't the person that people said she was. Oh my god, my grammar. that she wasn't the devil's curse. That she died trying to be a hero. She sputtered out more words as she coughed more blood out of her mouth.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing me to be myself.
Oh.
Charlotte
That was
finished her final words as she closed her eyes. Sailing one last time.
Oh. Were you sad about Charlotte dying?
Think of it like this.
I was.
Boria survived for 14 days. I came into this wanting to survive longer than that. Charlotte died in 12.
You died fast, but you didn't die first. You didn't die first. You did not die first. So, there you go. It was an improvement. 2 steps back, 1 step forward.
It would only go downhill from here.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
She died. No.
So then Cesar meets up with Ivan and Sui as lightning flashes. How did you feel, Swift, knowing that Lee had killed 3 people? Were you
Oh my
scared?
god. Well, to be fair, I was trying to write this scene like Caesar does not know what the hell's going on, but like considering the entire atmosphere, he was just like at this point he doesn't even he partially part of him doesn't even want to know what happened, but at the same time he just wants to just just book it out of Alberto's room because he just had the scare of his life, just being held captive against his will. So
And this is my favorite moment, also one of my favorite moments, because as the 3 of y'all get down to the main level, this is where the dolls are pretty much like, we're not hiding anymore. So little flashes of lightning keep happening, and every time the lightning flashes, the dolls keep moving in another position, and they keep getting closer every time there's light. It's so creepy.
yeah.
Anyway, so Ivan says, we need to move now. So they start to move, they start to run, um, and and they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to go down the stairs. Um, Actually, Vel rolls a 1, which is funny, but
Uh-huh.
not a death roll 1. So she was like, "Oh boy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to write a death message." Sui trips down the stairs and tumbles to the bottom, badly injured. Grabs Ivan grabs Sui, and they go to they go downstairs, and Lee, as he removes the knife from Tang, is gonna find his next target, and the voice says, "Take those 2 to the first floor. My sister will handle the rest. Lee, you are my hero." So Lee, being the incel he is, he loves being called a hero. So
Mm.
so he goes for his next target, and Lan is
Fire.
also. Yep.
It's the voice of female voice.
Is it? I don't
Is
know.
a
I don't know.
My sister will handle the rest. The only character who is established to have a sister is the only character in story like that we know of that has a sister is Miss Manchu. So
argument. It's the CVs. Nothing makes sense. And lore can be built
nothing
on a whim.
lore can be built on a whim, but lore can be pre-planned in a sense. Ha.
Everything.
In any case,
Everything is purposeful in the CV. I finally found the picture of the doll.
Dolls.
yep, this one
And
I saw.
I'm gonna post it in Bonfire Bar text chat just to freak Lee out.
Yeah, I'll be spooked.
Yep. So those
Mm-hmm.
are the dolls that keep moving, and so they, so the 3 of y'all head out to the back door because you don't want to fuck with these goddamn dolls. So the
Mm-hmm.
lightning flashes and the dolls have gone. Poor Leah.
Oh,
The dolls have gone away, but they see Miss Manchu in the window, soaked by rain, staring at them. Darkness. The front door
Yeah.
opens. Miss Manchu's voice is audible to the others as if she's having a private conversation, but it's all in her voice. "I can't do it, please. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do this anymore, but you have to. But I can't. You owe me. It was so long
It
ago.
was so long ago.
He was going to kill you. I don't remember. I saved you. I know. So you have to do this for me. I don't want to anymore. You're alive because of me. Now do as I say. Um, or you will die, or they will die. You will die, or they will die. You may choose." Miss Manchu is crying, looking at them being Cesar, Ivan, and Sui. Um, Sui says, "This isn't her. The dolls and this. The other person in her voice is she her sister?" So everyone's losing it. It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Miss
Yeah. And
Manchu's.
then
Yeah, go ahead.
Cesar at this point kind of figured out what happened. Because Sui said to him, "Don't go back for anyone.
Ooh,
Go
yeah.
back for anybody."
Which is
Because
a
that
listen, number one rule of the CV: don't go back for anyone.
don't. So, and then Cesar was just like, if you're taking care of them now, God, please do. May you help their souls rest. Yeah.
Um, so then Miss Manchu, continuing her conversation with herself, I can't anymore. Father was right about you. You were the weaker. I should have let him kill you. Miss Manchu's walking backwards out the door. I gave my life for you. To all of this. I know. I am grateful. But not like this. Lightning. Miss Manchu is walking backwards towards the moat, keeping her eye on the 3 survivors. I told you what you must do. Lightning. Manchu's at the edge of the moat. It's my turn. Manchu slices her throat and fell backwards into the moat. Did you guys expect me to kill Miss Manchu?
I was kind of expecting
Yes,
that.
and
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
I wasn't expecting it, but I wasn't shocked.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
I think is that the first time I killed a main character of mine in the CV? I don't remember.
Well, you intentionally did so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I intentionally, not like for a role. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think I maybe killed someone in the Fergusons. Oh no, I had Miss Margaret and she killed herself in the Fergusons.
Oh yeah, that one.
Anyway,
So
so
sad.
that was sad. The water
Yeah.
begins making waves in the moat that spills over the edges. So something eats Miss Manchu, which we'll find out about later.
It's slug
A
time.
huge mass of flesh erupts from the water.
Oh shit.
It's slug time. The faces of Krishna, Manchu, as well as several other strangers, human distorted faces on the front of a giant mound of flesh, look right at the survivors. Oh God!
Mm-hmm.
And then they know it is time to go. Lightning.
Yeah.
So basically, Ivan was carrying Sui as he tried to flee to the side of the inn, attempting to make his way to the opposite end of the inn. And there's a bunch of voices on the faces on the slug going, "You cannot leave. Leave not
Person.
possible. Leave not possible. You can not. Have a good night, Leah." She's going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to bed. Um,
Uh,
and so they go out. And this was the big scene. Lee can see Land. Oh yeah, so Lee is now at the top of the stairs. Lee can see Lansui and Ivan and another person, but it's not Alberto.
It's Cesar.
Mm-hmm. So the 3 of them go out, and Alberto. So what happens? Is this where? What happens to Cesar? What is his trajectory in this part? Because I know the next part is the Ivan Sui bit.
Yeah. Like basically it's just like Cesar, my knee got injured. I need you to help and try and get the door open. Yeah. So basically they reach the what's this? They're trying to leave through the side entrance, but
That's
the door
right.
is just jammed.
Yes, because
then-
everyone's rolling terribly.
Everyone is just rolling. Ugh. Just one more.
it's
Door
the CVs.
opens.
Yep, that's right.
Let's go, Caesar Whisper shouted. Now, basically, a few rolls later, the door finally opens. But however, they have an impending problem in the form of the slug, just barreling slowly at first, but then coming towards them. Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Must have told everyone about his kidnapping. And then D30, Caesar, basically, yeah, like, Whisper shouted without noticing. He's so moved to bring himself and everyone else in the door frame. And then Void rolled a 28. And then Lan rolled a 14. Vel rolled 11. And of course, Cesar being the last one. Like, because the rolls were not in order, but because Cesar rolled ultimately a 1. Yeah. At the last second, feels small hands, feels grabbing his legs, and feels the rug has been pulled out from under him. Yeah. And then because he was the last one to push everyone in, I just decided to add an in-universe explanation as to why he got number 1, because he was the one who told everyone to get inside first. He prioritized everyone else first.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lance sees Cesar being eaten. Yet.
Yeah,
of course, he's not dead yet.
The slug starts to eat. Ugh, Cesar, it's so gross. The idea of the slug eating someone is so gross to me. Ugh.
Yeah, and then Lan stops at the door. She turns to look at Cesar being swallowed. I might die with the lowest roll, and then Lancy Cesar be roll to save Cesar, and then and then Lan got a 19. Lan is not fast enough to save Cesar.
Mm.
Yeah. He consumed by the strength and surprising quickness of the monster like a crocodile. Cesar slips away. Like, here it is. Like, this is the death message. I feel
Go
proud
for
of
it.
this one. Like, this one, Jesse. Fire.
Yep. Read it.
Alright. Cesar knew his time was coming fast. The creature was coming in fast towards his direction. He made sure everyone else made it inside, and he chose to stay back. He felt himself get pulled from under his feet. He knew that this was it. In his final moments, he saw Lan, sweet, kind Lan trying to save him. He could only give a reassuring smile to her, to try and silently tell her that he will be alright, even when he would be gone. So, I don't know if he's like choking in this scene, but then he's just like, God, I leave my soul up to you now. Please give my family a sign that I'm in your hands now. May you keep my friends safe. Cesar said his one final prayer out loud in the darkness before he himself became consumed by it.
Mhm.
So, yep.
Fucking
There it
good.
is.
How did you feel? So what placement? So that made Cesar died, player wise, died fourth or fifth? What is that? So Krishna
Or
fourth. Not
Four.
bad. Not bad.
Four is death. Four is death in Asian culture.
Is that the earliest you've ever died in a CV?
I don't know.
I think it
I,
is. I think it is. Usually stick around towards till at least towards the end, but um
yeah, but in a sense, it's just like, yeah. He just prayed. He just died praying to God that, oh yeah, please take care of my soul, take care of everyone else. And then please give my family a sign. Because keep in mind, he has his parents back home, he has his cousins still waiting. Yeah. His family's expansive, but I'm not
pretty
gonna
sure
delve into
I'm pretty sure everyone except Charlotte had family.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah, he's just
So
poor Alejandro. Poor Alejandro. He would just come to know that his cousin will never come home.
Mm.
He will not come home from this
Okay.
trip this time.
Yeah, see, this is the perks of not having a family. No one's gonna be there the morning of death.
Yeah.
Eaten by a goddamn slug.
Yeah.
So the next part that happens is a simultaneous scene. Alberto gets out of his room, finds Lee there, and they start freaking going at it. They start fighting. It's a very different scene between him and Lee than Krishna and Lee, because Alberto gives him a fucking run for his money, and they start fighting simultaneously while the slug fucking pushes Sui, Ivan, and I think Lan, yeah, the three of them into the water in a scene that is very much inspired by the movie Anaconda, starring Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez. Please go watch it. It is a beautiful Oscar award-winning. It's a horrible movie, but you should watch it anyway. Um, and so the three of them get pushed into the water, and probably one of the most grueling role scenes I've ever made people do in the CVs. The the qualifications I had for these three to survive this were very, very difficult, and they kind of had to roll. I think they rolled between them like I feel like 100 times, maybe less, but probably less.
Yeah, that was just too much rolling in the water. See, these are just like that those like what those scenes in people trying to escape the water in CVs. It's just like those water levels in video games. Grueling.
Yeah, it was very grueling. It probably one of probably definitely top 10 most heartbreaking deaths. Um,
Sui.
so basically, what happened is that the three of them got knocked into the water, and they each kept kind of trying to save each other, and eventually, based on the way I made them roll, I think the first person to die was Sui, who we all loved. She rolled a 1, and let me see. Ivan is pushing, swimming with all his might until he realizes that Sui isn't next to him. So I guess the two of them had like gotten free of the slug underneath the water, and they were trying to get out. And then Ivan realizes that Sui isn't with them, and I basically gave Ivan the option to have one more push to make it to the surface, And it said Ivan watched in horror as he watched Sui be swallowed whole by the monster. He couldn't bring himself to swim any further to the edge. Try as he couldn't help but cry as he began to swim to the surface, unsure if he should go on. Ivan's grief kept him from moving as fast as he should. Survival felt almost meaningless, and yet he had to break the surface. He finally does. Ivan gasps for air as he breaks the surface, emotionally raw. Land sees Ivan break the surface. Land continues to swim over to him. And Shy rolled a D300 for some reason. And Lan is pushed along to safety while acting as a human shield. Where did things go wrong? Oh yes, so the creature pulls them down again based on how I was just rolling really well and they were rolling really poorly, and so they kept
This is why Rolam is
yeah.
at this point, like Rolam is just like that one. It's like that one demon child that you can't stand, but at the same time you have to withstand because they're the essential part of this horror role play. You're not giving. You can't really give. You can't give like the characters too much power. You're just limiting their strength through the role, and it's just oh boy, makes for some very interesting scenarios.
Oh yes, oh yes. So after another one of the probably the most grueling rolling things I've ever made people do, the creature swallows Lan and Ivan with ease as their faces pushes on either side of its body. So eventually, what kept happening was that the slug creature pulled them under and wouldn't. They rolled so poorly they couldn't stop being pulled under, and then they I think they drowned and then got eaten.
Yeah,
they drowned and then got
and
eaten.
then Lee comes in. Back to Lee and Alberto.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yep, Lee and Alberto. They go in for a fight. They have a really awesome knockdown drag out fight. And eventually, what ends up happening is, does Lee win? I think Lee kills Alberto, doesn't he? Or am I wrong about that?
You would be correct.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Eventually, it's a very good fight, but eventually Lee stabs Alberto. Oh yeah, that's right. He curb stomps him. I forgot about this part. This is one of the most horrible deaths. Is that so? I don't know if you guys remember. So he pulled Alberto's face onto one of the stairs and steps on the half of his face so that his skull cracks. It's called curb stomping. It's horrible. It's terrible. So he violently kills Alberto, bringing his kill count to 5 or 4, I think.
4.
Yeah, 4, which is kind of crazy. And at the same time, we learn in a flashback that Miss Manchu actually shared this hotel with her sister, Hugh Lan, I believe is how I had her pronounce. I don't remember.
Hua.
Yeah.
Hua or Hua.
Hua. Yeah. I love I made it up. I don't even remember what it is. And basically, what we learned was that the Manchu father, like their father, was extremely abusive and was attempting to kill Miss Manchu for, I forgot what the reason was. I'm gonna just try to read it. He was drunk, I believe, and basically told Miss Manchu that her sister was more beautiful. She'll find a husband. And they were crying as like the dad was like drunk and like waving around a gun, and eventually attempts to work towards dad. Papa, please don't. What do you want? Please don't hurt you. Please, I don't want to hurt either of you. But and I'm trying to get to the part that gets crazy. I think it's where that's where the curb stomp happens. We are almost at the end here. There we go. Okay. So basically, Ali closes the door. Father and son saying, doesn't pick up the gun. Oh, I see. So yeah, so the dad was like really abusive towards them, and eventually Miss Miss Manchu's sister shoots her father to protect her sister, and the father dies in the hot spring, and um, then they pull out a porcelain doll. Oh, this is the part that makes sense. Okay, so the sister comes out and says, uh, "A man brought me this doll. The doll is called a knee. The man promised me that no matter what happens to those I love, they will always be with me. So soon we will always be together, sister. If you want to make you feel better, I'll just use Father's hot spring. Have you ever seen it cure anyone, Jew? Oh, yes. Yeah, so they're trying to. Um, I think they're trying to save their father. Sorry, I'm like trying to remember like how all this went down. Um, Since you remember better times, pulls out the porcelain doll. You don't play with dolls. Yeah, I was told the same thing about a man. I told the man the same thing that he said we won't be. We'll be something better. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say now that we're well. I don't know if I can say who the man is, but do you guys know who the man is that gave them the knee doll?
Real.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it'll be the same Mr. Man we'll see in the next podcast.
Yep. Yeah. The
Yeah.
next 4-hour podcast. So this is our.
It's a maybe. You say
I'm
it's a
ready
maybe,
for it.
but you say it's a maybe, but at this point, just the fact that he's being referred to as the man in quotation points, it just cements it.
No, there is a maybe, and that'll be like 4 podcasts from now.
Yeah. Might as well have faith,
Yep.
which will happen in a few.
Yep. So these two
Yeah,
girls.
just can I just give a quick summary of everything?
Yes, please.
Mhm.
Go for it.
No.
Oh boy, here we go. You remember how I called it a CW show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
What?
coming coming this summer of 2021, murder, pool, hot springs, naked old ladies.
That's true.
Also murder, giant slugs in a big-ass hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Coming this Friday at 8/7 Central on the CW network.
Yep. That's it. Knee, said in 1880. Yep.
It's not like any of your CW shows, but it's exactly like all of them.
It's a period drama. It's a period drama disguised as it's a horror disguised as a period drama.
Those damn dolls. Those damn dolls. Yeah. It was our first full party wipe. Did y'all love Knee? Did y'all enjoy Knee?
Yes.
That was a fun one. It was a fun one. It's one
like,
of our shortest ones.
Cesar actually became one of my favorites, not only because of how I wrote as him, but also because in a way it kind of helped me give closure, as I think, to my ancestor who also died young. I just gave him like a new, in a way. I just thought of it as me giving the life that my ancestor says are never.
Love it.
So
I love it. Well, it was fun. Knee's one of my favorites. I highly enjoyed it.
It should have. I wonder what would have happened if it lasted a whole month.
Oh gosh.
Because for me, up until that point, all I knew was a full month TV. So.
Oh boy, when we were so young and innocent back then, when we thought series lasted a month.
If it did last a full month, if certain decisions were, like alternate decisions were made, like certain other connections would have happened. Like the love triangle would have come on full force between Ivan, Sui, and Lee.
Except it wasn't even a love triangle.
Yeah, it wasn't even a love triangle. It was just it's a full misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding combined with friend zoning. Misunderstanding plus friend zone plus obliviousness.
Also, it's official. Both Ivan and Charlotte tried to poach workers from Miss Manchu.
Yep, pretty much. She certainly did.
Poach.
They got handled, didn't they? Didn't they?
I would have
tried to poach, but both of them got cracked like an egg.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that Lee ended up being eaten by the slug. That's how Lee
Yep.
died.
Yeah, that could have been predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was more of karma in the sense that oh yeah, he hears the voice of his crush just calling out to him,
He
You
was
know,
and he's
been
just like,
karma.
very
yeah.
last.
The slug somehow stabbing him.
yeah,
Oh, that'd been great.
That's
And then-
karma.
Yeah.
that's karma right there.
So
And it's
ahead.
just me, but if the thread had gone on for like a month longer, certain other decisions would be made. Like maybe some of the other connections with the characters would have been more developed and fleshed out in a sense.
I think the
Or
only change would have just been that, oh yeah, the kidnapping plot would have actually been fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had
Which is kind of what I was sad about in the end, was that, oh yeah, the major storyline between the players themselves never got resolved.
Well, guess who escalated that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah, you
no
DBS.
comment.
Yeah, we're looking at you. We're looking at you, buddy. So in order of
No, it wasn't me. It was the freaking worm who killed the horse.
so
Mhm.
in our very first this is the first CV that had a full party death wipe. So we're gonna go over the murders
So
really
far,
quick.
the only one.
That's probably the only one, yeah. So Krishna Varma murdered by Lee on the west wing of the guest floor of the hotel. Charlotte McNally, number 2, murdered by Lee in the Viper Room in the blackout. Tang murdered by Lee in the Viper Room in the blackout. Cesar eaten by the mound of a Manchu / Krishna mound of flesh. Sui eaten in the moat while trying to swim to the surface with Ivan. Lan drowned trying to save Ivan. Ivan drowned right at the last moment in the moat. Alberto curb stomped by Lee on the bottom of the stairs. And finally, Lee eaten by the mass on the stairs. Good job, everybody.
Manchu.
And Miss Manchu.
Slice herself on the throat and then decided to drown afterwards just to make sure.
Yep. She said, I'm about to be.
You know what would have been also funny? Just the fact that potentially, even if it was a faint chance of survival, Cesar and Alberto would have probably survived just by staying in the room the entire time, or
Probably.
just like staying in the room at least a little bit longer.
Well, Lee probably would have figured out a way.
Figured out a way, and then
Yeah.
If there's one thing about the CVs, the quickest survival guide is to not do anything.
Don't do anything. Well, it didn't work in this one because the people who were the least active died the fastest, which was Krishna and Tang.
yeah,
They died
and
very
then
early. I don't know what your excuse was because you also died second, DBS, but still.
Shut up.
I mean, to be fair, you're also
technically, the most active died last. I would say that Shadow was probably the most active and died last. So I don't know. Lee had Rome on his side. Anyway, well, thank you so much for listening to this long ass podcast. We were at 3 hours and 45 minutes, longer than most movies.
Almost-
Three people just rambling.
I know, right? Which I love it. So tune in.
Yeah, part of it was just me rambling about like personal favorite scenes that I like, as well as some other scenes. It's just
I love
God.
I was about to say, just you reading out entire sections of the threads.
So,
Come on, I don't want to leave details out.
So we left out a couple little things, but go check in with CV7E in the RP archives right now. We will be recording our Night of the Living roleplay CV8 coming up next week, followed by Circles, For So Deep Is Our Love, Fresh Beginnings, and then finally we will eventually do a podcast for the final CV12, which we have not played yet, which is coming soon.
CV12. It's probably the one where
we're entering the CVs that all have taken like 2 months or more now.
Oh yes, yeah, we're entering the long CVs. So have a good night and good morning, New Hell City.
Question mark.
Tell the kids bye. Tell the kids good morning.
Goodbye, children.
Bye, good
Hopefully
morning.
Goodbye, children. Hopefully you enjoyed all the blood and gore that everyone just mentioned in this podcast. Fun. That's a life lesson, children. Everyone bleeds.
Remember, do not miss Knee. Coming this summer 2022, time slots Friday at 8/7 Central.